Hello, everyone, and welcome into the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Tonight, we come to you live from Woodville Park in Traverse City, Michigan. Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Rubber match here tonight. Hi, everyone. I'm Zach Ziegler, taking you through all the action here in 2016 for your Washington Wild Things as they are in the playoff race here in the Frontier League. Last night, unfortunately, the Wild Things falling to Traverse City by a score of 6-1. We'll have a recap of that game for you last night. Also, transaction news for your Washington Wild Things. So the Washington Wild Thing gets some very good news on this day. Also, a Traverse City Beach Bum getting that same good news. So we'll talk about both those players coming up. Also got lineups, pitching matchup, and the first pitch for you. It's all coming up right here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Now, last night, as we said, the Wild Things unfortunately fell to the Traverse City Beach Bums by the score of 6-1. Wild Things actually got on the board first, and we get the lead in this ball game. Happened in the top of the second. Dave Popkins struck out to lead things off. Then Jimmy Yeza would strike out looking before Justin Garcia hit his first Washington Wild Things home run, a solo shot over the right field wall. That gave the Wild Things a 1-0 lead. Next batter, Kyle Pollock, would pop out to end the inning. However, Traverse City responding right back in the bottom of inning number 2. Will Kenger popped out to start things. Then Steven Patterson would single. Elijah Trail then struck out. And Giancarlo Bergoni would come through with a 2-run home run, his 10th home run of the year. That put Traverse City up by a score of 2-1. Next batter, Kendall Patrick, would reach on an error, and Jeff W. would ground out to end the inning. Traverse City would be back on the board in the bottom of inning number 5. Kendall Patrick struck out. Jeff W. flew out before Marcus Dirks walked with 2 men out. Then Ryan Bacher came through with an RBI single. Dirks came all the way around from second to score after stealing second base, and that gave Traverse City a 3-1 lead. Next batter, Jose Vargas. He hit an RBI double up the middle that allowed Ryan Bacher to come around to score. Vargas would be caught stealing to end the inning. Traverse City get back on the board in the bottom half of the 6th. Will Kenger singled to start things, and Steven Patterson would single as well to put runners at first and second with nobody out before Elijah Trail struck out, and that would be all for the lefty starter, Matt Snyder. Coming in would be Christian Powell. Powell would strike out Giancarlo Bergoni. Then Kendall Patrick came through with a 2 RBI double. Kenger and Patterson both came around to score, and Traverse City took a 6-1 lead. Jeff W. would then fly out to end the inning. Matt Snyder on the night went 5 1/3, gave 6 runs, all those runs earned on 6 hits, walked 1, and struck out 5. Took him 83 pitches to get through 5 1/3 innings of work for your Washington Wild Things. Then Christian Powell would have a scoreless 7th as Marcus Dirks singled. Ryan Bacher hit into a fielder's choice. Jose Vargas hit into a fielder's choice as well to put a runner at first with 2 men out before Will Kenger flew out to end the inning. Brian O'Keefe would pitch a 1-2-3 ninth. Wild Things tried to come back in the ninth against reliever Joe Anthony Rivera. However, they would go 1-2-3. Dave Popkins flew out. Jimmy Yezzo grounded out. And Justin Garcia flew out to end the game. So the final score, Traverse City won 6-1. Matt Snyder picked up the loss. He falls to 1-1 with a 6.94 ERA on the year, going those 5 1/3, giving up 6 runs all earned on 6 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. 2 scoreless outings out of the bullpen. Christian Powell, 2 scoreless innings, giving up 2 hits and striking out 2 over 25 pitches, while Brian O'Keefe went 1 inning in this ball game, not giving up a run and striking out 1 man in his inning of work. But the story of the night really was Traverse City Beach Bum starter Augie Gallardo. Gallardo making his professional debut, last pitched at Eastern Michigan earlier in the 2016 season. Gallardo was great in this one, went 6 innings, he had a 1 run. The run was earned on 3 hits, walked 2, and struck out 7. Took him 101 pitches to get through 6 innings of work. A very impressive professional debut for him. Then Rob Blanc came on for 2 innings. Didn't give up a run in his outing on just 1 hit. Walked 1 and struck out 1. And then Joe Anthony Rivera pitched that 1-2-3 ninth inning. Only took him 9 pitches to get through that 9th inning of work. Beach Bums improved to 34 and 44 on the season, while your Wild Things fell to 38-40. Wild Things will try to bounce back tonight here in the rubber match. Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. We're going to take a break here on the MSA Sports Network. When we come back, going to talk about the good news for both a Wild Things player and a Beach Bums player. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball and the Washington Wild Things pregame show right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, getting you ready for Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Wild Things won Game 1 by a score of 5-4 on Tuesday night, then lost last night by a score of 6-1 to Traverse City. So the Wild Things looking for a series win here in tonight's ball game. Now, good news for a player on each of these teams. First, we'll start with the Wild Things. Reliever turned starter Zach Groats got his contract picked up by the Los Angeles Dodgers. He'll report to single A for the Dodgers. With the Wild Things, Groats had a record of 4-2, had 10 saves and 12 tries this season for the Wild Things. And at a team low 1.36 ERA. Zach Groats will be assigned to single A with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Want to wish Zach Groats the best of luck with the Dodgers in his minor league career. It'll be his second stint in minor league baseball, as he did spend some time with the Houston Astros organization, was drafted by the Astros, pitched in rookie and single A ball for Houston, now getting a shot with the Los Angeles Dodgers. On the other side of the coin, Dylan Stoops for the Traverse City Beach Bum, the lefty, had got his contract purchased today by the San Diego Padres. Stoops was an all-star this year, had a record of 9-3, a 3.17 ERA, appeared in 16 games, all starts in 90 2/3 innings of work. He struck out 79 and walked 28. So Dylan Stoops assigned to single A with the San Diego Padres. So both the Wild Things and the Beach Bums having some great news. Zach Groats, the second man picked up in minor league baseball for the Washington Wild Things. Trevor Foss had his contract sold earlier in the year to the Cleveland Indians. He's now with their single-A Lake County Captains. With those Lake County Captains, through his first 2 starts, Foss had a record of 1-1 and a 4.50 ERA. That first start didn't go too well for him as he gave up 6 runs in 4 innings of work. However, last time out, through 7 innings of baseball, did not give up a run on just 1 hit in the outing. So Trevor Foss doing well with the Class A Lake County Captains. We wish the same success to both Zach Groats in his Los Angeles Dodgers career and to Dylan Stoops in his San Diego Padres career. Going to take another break here on the MSA Sports Network. We'll be right back with a look at the playoff picture here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, getting you ready for Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Going to take a look at the playoff picture. Your Wild Things very much in the thick of this playoff race as they currently sit 2.5 back of that the second wild card spot, number 4 seed in the Frontier League playoffs. They are 4.5 back of the Joliet Slammers for first place in the Frontier League East Division. Taking a look at those standings. Right now, the four playoff spots occupied by Southern Illinois, 53-27. Joliet, 43-36. Those are your 2 division leaders. Then Evansville has the first wild card spot at 45-34. And then the Normal Corn Belters hold that second playoff card spot at 41-38. Behind them, the Gateway Grizzlies, 40-41. They're 2 back. Your Washington Wild Things just sit 2.5 back at 38-40 on the year. Then the River City Rats Haskell's 3 back at 39 and 42. Lake Erie sits 4.5 back at 37 and 43. Windy City 36 and 43. They're 5 back. The Florence Freedom 36 and 44, 5.5. And Schaumburg and Traverse City each 6.5 back. Schaumburg a record of 35 and 45. Traverse City record of 34 and 44. So still really anybody's game here in the Frontier League. If a team can make a run and get hot, they have a chance to get back in this playoff picture. Your Wild Things just 2.5 back. They go a good way to putting themselves back in that playoff picture with a series win over Traverse City tonight. They're currently 3-2 on this road trip. With a win, they can secure a winning record. With a loss, it would be a 3-3 road trip. So you'd love to see them go back to Consol Energy Park for that big 10-game homestand with a winning record on this 6-game homestand. They took 2 or 3 from the Windy City Thunderbolts, now trying to take 2 or 3 from the Traverse City Beach Bums. National Anthem about ready to play here at Werfel Park, so we're going to step aside. We'll be right back with the lineups and the first pitch. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead don't follow.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, ready for baseball here in Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Traverse City on the field right now. They'll align like this defensively. In the outfield left to right, Casey Rodriguez, Marcus Dirks, and Jeff Debut. On the left side of the infield, held down by Elijah Trail and Will Kenger. Right side of the infield, held down by Stephen Patterson and Christian Santisteban. Behind the plate is Kendall Patrick. Patrick catching today's starter, Kramer Champlin, for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Champlin enters this one with a record of 4-5, a 2.64 ERA, appearing in his 16th game, making his 16th start. Has thrown 102 innings of work, giving up 38 runs, 30 of those earned, on 94 hits, 75 strikeouts, and 17 walks on the season for the right-hander Champlin. The lineup he'll face for your Washington Wild Things looks like this. They'll lead off with their left fielder, Andrew Heck. Batting second and playing in center field, Chris Grayson. Hitting third at third base, Ricky Rodriguez. Batting fourth and playing in right field, Dave Popkins. Hitting fifth at first base, Jimmy Yezzo. Batting sixth at second, Grant Fink. Hitting seventh, designated hitter Justin Garcia. Batting eighth and catching, Steve Solkoski. And hitting ninth and playing at shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wild Things are led by their manager, Greg Langben. Andrew Heck making his way to the plate right now to lead things off here in the top of the first. Heck on the year so far is hitting .276, no home runs, and 14 RBIs. Ready for baseball. Game 3 of this 3-game series. The rubber match as each team has taken a game so far here at Werfel Park. Andrew Heck stepping in. Kramer Champlin taking the mound, and we are ready for baseball. Champlin looks in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Heck takes his first pitch outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. First pitch tonight thrown at 7:06 p.m. Eastern Time. Temperature outside a cool 72 degrees. First pitch time and temperature brought to you by State Line Grocery and Hotspot. This pitch popped up to the right side. Santisteban camped under it behind first, and he's going to make the catch. That's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the top of the first. And that'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far in the year hitting .279, 2 home runs, and 14 RBIs. 1 man out, top of the first. No score between your the Traverse City Beach Bums and your Washington Wild Things. Game 3 of this 3-game series. On the base paths for the Wild Things in terms of coaching, manager Greg Langben at third and hitting coach Mike Marshall in at first. Here's the pitch, and Grayson takes this one for a ball inside, and the count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. Jumping out of the way of that one. Want to know the count, batting lefty against the righty Champlin, the 1-0, and that one's inside as well. Grayson jumping out of the way of the last 2 pitches, and the count's 2 balls and no strikes for Kramer Champlin on the year. 75 strikeouts in 102 innings of work, so he'll get his strikeouts, just not as consistently as some. The 2-0, and that one's in there for a strike this time. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on Chris Grayson. Grayson's been in center field for all 3 games of this 3-game series between your Wild Things and the Beach Bums. And his next pitch is taken for a strike as well, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, 1 man out in this top of the first. Wild Things trying to get a lead early. They score the first run of the ball game in last night's game. Here's the 2-2, and that one's high for a ball. Count goes full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 on the Wild Things center fielder. Kramer Champlin also 17 walks in 102 innings of work. So not a guy who's going to try and pitch around you. He's going to come right at you. The 3-2, and that one grounded into the Wild Things dugout, and the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Chris Grayson making Champlin work here in the first inning. That's what you want to do. Champlin does have a no-hitter this year. His first start of the year was a no-hitter. Walked 2 in that game and struck out 10. Has his sign, a 3-2, and this ball popped up. Foul territory to the right. Santisteban giving it a look, but this one will land foul into the seats, and the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Christian Santisteban over there at first, running all the way over to the wall in foul territory, and watching that one hit about 5 rows back. Stephen Patterson gave chase as well. For the Beach Bums today, they're wearing their blue alternate jerseys with the yellow lettering. Wild Things wearing their red alternates with a black stripe on the arm and white lettering, and their gray road pants. Kramer Champlin looking in, has his sign, the 3-2, and this one's outside, ball 4. So a 1-out walk here for Kramer Champlin. That'll put a runner on for the Wild Things with 1 man out, and that brings to the plate the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far in the year hitting .290, 5 home runs, and 26 RBIs. 1 out, top of the first. No score here as the Wild Things get a man on with 1 out as Chris Grayson walks. Kramer Champlin looking into the right-handed hitting Rodriguez. Has his sign. He's set the pitch, and Rodriguez takes this one high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count here on Ricky Rodriguez? Playing third base tonight. Played third base last night as well. Was the DH in game 1 of this series. Champlin has his sign, the 1-0. And Rodriguez pops this one up. On the infield, Kramer Champlin coming in. And he'll be called off by Santisteban. Santisteban will make the catch. And that's in time for out number 2. 2 away for the Wild Things here in the top of the first, and that brings to the plate the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins, so far in the year, leads the team in all offensive categories, hitting .293, 13 homers, and 43 RBIs. 2 men out, top of the first. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Kramer Champlin looking into his catcher, Kendall Patrick. Champlin has his sign. He's set. Throw over to first, and Chris Grayson gets back in there safely. Grayson so far in the year, 13 stolen bases, good for the team lead on this Wild Things team. Champlin has his sign, checks Grayson as he takes his lead, holds at the belt, and the pitch. Grayson taking off for second. Pitch high, the throw down, and getting in there with a stolen base is Chris Grayson. His 14th stolen base of the year, leads the Wild Things in that category. Now there's a runner at second with 2 men out. 1 ball, no strikes to count here on the switch hitting Dave Popkins, batting from the left side against the right-handed pitcher Kramer Champlin. Champlin looking into his catcher Patrick, going through his signs, has one he likes, he's set. Holds at the belt in the 1-0. And Popkins takes this one high as well, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Kramer Champlin's been falling behind these Wild Things hitters at least early on in this ball game, trying to settle that down here in this first inning. Champlin has his sign. He's set the pitch. And that one's a called strike on the outside corner. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 here on Dave Popkins, batting in the cleanup spot for your Washington Wild Things. Has been doing that for most of the season. Champlin looking in. Going through the signs with Kendall Patrick. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks second, and the 2-1. And this ball popped up. Foul territory off to the left. Elijah Trail giving chase over towards the foul territory wall. He reaches over, and he's not going to make the catch, as that'll fall into the second row of seats. That'll turn into strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes here on Dave Popkins. 2 men out, top of the first. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Popkins batting left-handed against the right-hander, Kramer Champlin. Chris Grayson, walked with 1 man out. He's standing on second after he stole second base for his 14th bag of the year. Champlin has his sign, holds at the belt, checks second, and the 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Popkins strikes out, and that will end the inning. No runs in the inning for the Wild Things on no hits, no errors, and a man left on after the walk. After half an inning of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, and the Traverse City Beach Bums coming to bat. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the first, and the score. Your Washington Wild Things nothing. Traverse City Beach Bums coming to bat. The Wild Things aligned defensively like this in the outfield left to right. It's Andrew Heck, Chris Grayson, and Dave Popkins. Left side of the infield held down by Ricky Rodriguez and Austin Wobrock. Right side by Grant Fink and Jimmy Yezzo. And behind the plate is Steve Solkoski catching tonight's starter, Luke Wilkins. Wilkins enters this one with a record of 2-6, a 4.51 ERA. Appearing in his 15th game, making his 14th start. Has thrown 79 and 2/3 innings of work, giving up 45 runs, 42 of those earned on 75 hits, 54 strikeouts, and 35 walks on the season. The lineup he'll face for the Traverse City Beach Bums looks like this. They'll lead off with their center fielder, Marcus Dirks, batting second in left field, Casey Rodriguez. Hitting third, designated hitter, Jose Vargas. In the cleanup spot at shortstop, Will Kenger, batting fifth. The second baseman, Steven Patterson. Batting sixth at third base, Elijah Trail. Hitting seventh at first, Christian Santisteban. In the eighth spot behind the plate, Kendall Patrick. And batting ninth and playing in right field is Jeff Debut. On the mound, as you saw, Kramer Champlin. Champlin enters this one with a record of 4-5 and a 2.64 ERA. Marcus Dirks making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the bottom of the first. Dirks so far hitting .251, 1 home run, 18 RBIs. First pitch from Wilkins, and that one's taken low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the center fielder for Traverse City. Wilkins has his sign. Here's the 1-0. And this ball lined towards right center field, and that'll fall in for a base hit. So Dirks rounding first, and now he'll take a stop as Grayson cuts it off in the gap, and it'll be a leadoff single for Marcus Dirks. The leadoff man reaches base for Traverse City here with nobody out, and that brings to the plate the left fielder Casey Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far hitting .215, 1 home run, and 11 RBIs. Rodriguez made an appearance in this series, appeared as a pinch runner in Game 1. Pinch ran for Kendall Patrick in the 9th inning, making his first start of the series here tonight. Luke Wilkins looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch, and Rodriguez grounded right back to the mound. Wilkins to second for one, on to first, and that's in time for a double play. Just what Luke Wilkins needed after that leadoff single. 1-6-3, and there are now 2 outs here in this bottom of the first, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Jose Vargas. Vargas so far on the year is hitting .304, 12 home runs, and 44 RBIs. His 12 home runs are good for a tie of first place on this Traverse City Beach Bums team. 2 men out, bottom of the first. No score between your Wild Things and the Beach Bums. Wilkins pitch. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count here on the Beach Bums designated hitter, batting in the number 3 spot. Did the DH duties on Tuesday night as well. It was at third base last night. Here's Wilkins 1-0. That one swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on the designated hitter for Traverse City, batting in the number 3 spot. Wilkins looks in, righty on righty matchup. Here's the 1-1. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Coaching on the bases for Traverse City. At third base, their manager Dan Roan. And at first base is the pitching coach Jake Rhodes. Wilkins looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And this ball hit to center field. Chris Grayson initially not moving, but now running back towards the track. On the track, and this ball is off the top of the wall. Rounding second, heading to third is Jose Vargas, as Grayson slow to get to that ball, and Vargas is going to be in there with a 2-out triple, hitting that one off the very top of the wall out there at center field. There's a runner at third with 2 men out now for the Traverse City Beach Bums, and that brings to the plate the shortstop, Will Kenger. Kenger so far hitting .296, 7 home runs, and 41 RBIs. 2 men out here in the bottom of the first. A triple for Jose Vargas, hitting it high off the 400 sign out in center field here at Werfel Park, and he's able to scoot into third with a triple. As that one bounced far away from Grayson, Wilkins has his sign, the pitch, and Kenger a swing and a miss there, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums shortstop, batting in the number 4 spot for Traverse City. Umpires for tonight's game behind home is Phil Pupillo, and on the base is Drew Ashcraft. This next pitch swung on and missed, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Wilkins trying to strand his man at third with 2 men out. Jose Vargas reached there after tripling with 2 outs. Wilkins has his sign, the 0-2, and this ball grounded softly to the right side and foul past the Wild Things dugout. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2, 2 men out here in the bottom of the first. 2 hits on the day for the Traverse City Beach Bums early on. The leadoff single by Marcus Dirks, and then the triple by Jose Vargas. Dirks was erased on the double play by Rodriguez. Here's the 0-2, and that one's high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Solkowski jumping out of the crouch to make that catch. Solkowski making his first start since Game 2 of the doubleheader back on August the 6th. Luke Wilkins looking in. Has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2 offering. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes even to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Wilkins trying to turn things around on the mound. He has picked up a loss in each of his last 4 starts on the mound. The team had combined 4-11 when he's pitching this year. That one fouled back, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. As for Luke Wilkins, hasn't picked up a win since July 1st and has picked up a loss in each of his last 3 starts. Has a total of a 5-start losing streak in total. The 2-2, and this ball fouled back as well, so the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here on Will Kenger. Kenger battling Luke Wilkins. The 9th pitch of the at-bat. Coming up between these two. Lefty on righty matchup. Jose Vargas at third. Vargas tripled with 2 men out. Wilkins going through the signs with Solkowski. Has one he likes. He's set. And the 2-2. And a check swing, and he went around, says Pupillo behind the plate. and that is out number 3. No runs in the inning for the Beach Bums on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 1 inning of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, the Traverse City Beach Bums coming to bat. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, heading to the top of the second, and the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Wild Things, Andrew Heck would pop out to lead off the game, then Chris Grayson would walk, Ricky Rodriguez popped out, and Dave Popkins struck out to end the inning. Due up here in the second, Jimmy Yezzo, Grant Fink, and Justin Garcia, 5, 6, and 7, facing off against Kramer Champlin. Champlin, a pretty good first inning. 17 pitches to get through the first 4 batters in the Wild Things order. The last 2 nights for Traverse City, their starter has gone 6 in each. So Kramer Champlin looking to at least duplicate those outings here today. Stepping to lead things off against him here in this top of the second, first baseman Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far in the year for the Wild Things is hitting .227 with 10 home runs and 32 RBIs. Top of the second, nobody out. Yezzo, the left-handed batter, stepping in to face the righty, Kramer Champlin. Champlin has started twice against the Wild Things this season in those 2 starts. Has a record of 1-1, 1-2 overall against the team. Here's the pitch. This one grounded to first. Santisteban handles it on a hop. He'll flip to Champlin covering, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the second, and that brings to the plate the second baseman, Grant Fink. Fink so far on the year is hitting .192, 8 home runs, and 17 RBIs. Those 8 home runs are good for third on the Wild Things team behind Dave Popkins and Jimmy Yezzo on the year. 1 man out, top of the second. No score between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Wild Things looking for a series win here in Traverse City, Michigan. They took the first game and lost in game 2 last night. Champlin has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things second baseman, Grant Fink. Jamadric Magruder getting a night off tonight as he started the first 2 games in the series. The 1-0, that one's outside as well, and the count goes to 2-0 now. Grant Fink has been spending some time at second base now since Jamadric Magruder injured his hamstring back against Florence in 2 Sundays ago. Here's the 2-0, and a check swing by Fink, but he called strike anyway, says Phil Pupillo behind the plate, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Champlin's 2-1 offering. And this one swung on a miss by Fink. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Fink up to the number 6 spot in the order for the Washington Wild Things. In previous starts, he has batted down in the number 8 hole. Here's the 2-2. And Fink chops this one to the right side. Patterson will handle it on a hop. Throws on to first. And that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in the second. And that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Justin Garcia. Garcia so far in the year, 188, 1 home run, and 2 RBIs. Garcia hitting his first home run as a Washington Wild Thing in last night's ball game. Just cleared the right field wall over to the left of the 320 sign. Just got over there and got his first Wild Things home run. Champlin has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Garcia takes this one inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Champlin just 17 pitches to get through that first inning of work. So far, very efficient here in this second as he threw. This is his 8th pitch of the inning. The 1-0, and that one's inside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 on Justin Garcia. DH'd last night as well, picking up that first Wild Things home run. The 2-0, and this one fouled back off to the left in the seats, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1, Justin Garcia just getting a piece of that foul ball and staying alive against Kramer Champlin. Garcia stepping in. Champlin looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-1. That one's outside for a ball. Count now swelling to 3 balls and a strike here on Justin Garcia. 3-1 the count, 2 men out here in the top of the second. Champlin looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 3-1 offering. And Garcia grounded right to Patterson at second. He'll handle, throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Beach Bums here in the second, and after 1.5, the score. Your Washington Wild Things nothing, Traverse City nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the second, and the score. Washington nothing, Traverse City nothing here at Werfel Park. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Last inning for Traverse City, Marcus Dirks would single to lead things off. Then Casey Rodriguez hitting a 1-6-3 double play to get the first 2 outs of the inning. Jose Vargas would then triple off the wall in center with 2 away, and Will Kendra would strike out to end the inning. Due up here in the second, Stephen Patterson, Elijah Trail, and Christian Santistaban, 5, 6, and 7 against Luke Wilkins. Next Wild Things broadcast will be tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch, game 1 of a 3-game series with the Schaumburg Boomers. Unfortunately, I have some family matters that I have to attend to, so I will not be on the call, but tune in. Nate Rigotti and Tony Busili will take you through the action of tomorrow night's game. 7:05 first pitch, Chase Cunningham taking the mound for your Wild Things against the Schaumburg Boomers. Luke Wilkins finishes his warm-up tosses here in the bottom of the second. And that'll bring to the plate the second baseman, Stephen Patterson. Patterson so far on the year, hitting .308, 12 home runs, and 53 RBIs. Left-handed hitter coming in against Luke Wilkins. Wilkins pretty good in that first inning, just allowed that one hard-hit ball to center field, that triple by Jose Vargas, but no harm done as the Traverse City Beach Bums did not score in the inning. Nobody out here in the bottom of the second. Patterson stepping to lead things off. Here's the pitch from Wilkins, and that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count for Luke Wilkins, making very good strides in the control category. Only walked 1 man his last time out. Much better from the beginning of the season. This one grounded on a hop to Fink. Fink handles it, throws on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Beach Bums here in the bottom of the second, and that brings to the plate the third baseman, Elijah Trail. Trail so far in the year, hitting .246, 3 home runs, and 17 RBIs. 1 man out, bottom of the second. Nothing score between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Trail stepping in was the third baseman in game 1 of this 3-game series. On Tuesday night, was DHing last night. Wilkins has his signee set. Here's the pitch. And Trail pops this one up foul back behind the stands, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. This is the last time the Wild Things will be in Werfel Park this year. Their second trip of the season. There's one more series between these two teams. They'll play next Wednesday and Thursday, doubleheader on Wednesday and a game on Thursday. The 0-1, and that one bounces to the plate. Solkowski able to block that one in the dirt, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 1 man out here in the bottom of the second. No score. 2 hits for the Traverse City Beach Bums. No hits for your Wild Things. Wilkins 1-1. And a swing and a miss by Trail. And the count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wilkins got him to chase one out of the zone there, as Trail will have to do it again. Wilkins, the right-hander on the mound. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Has his signee set. And the 1-2 offering. And a check swing by Trail. Did he go around? No, says the field umpire Drew Ashcraft, and the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here on Elijah Trail. Trail played for the Normal Corn Belchers earlier in the year, but was released by Normal and picked up by the Traverse City Beach Bums. Luke Wilkins looking in, has his signee set. Here's the 2-2. And that one's outside for a ball, so the count will go full now to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wilkins only 1 walk last time out in 5 1/3 innings of work against Windy City. Gave up 5 runs in that ball game, but didn't pitch nearly as bad as the stat line looked. And just got roughed up late in the game. The 3-2, and that one's low, ball 4. So it's a 1-out walk here for the Beach Bums. They'll have a runner at first with 1 man out, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Christian Santistaban. Santistaban so far on the year hitting .258, 1 home run, and 15 RBIs. Santistaban, his first appearance of this 3-game series, as Giancarlo Bergoni played first base in each of the last 2 games. So Santisteban getting the appearance here. Appeared in all 3 games the last time these two teams met at Werfel Park. Wilkins has his sign, the pitch, and Santisteban grounds this one foul right at home plate, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Traverse City's first baseman, batting left-handed against the right-hander Luke Wilkins. Wilkins only faced 2 lefties in the lineup last time out against the Windy City Thunderbolts. Was very happy about that. Santisteban, the left-handed first baseman, in there tonight against him. Wilkins has his sign, the 0-1, and Santisteban takes this one in the dirt. Count will go even to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Elijah Trail is yet to steal a base in his Traverse City Beach Bums career. He's over at first after walking with 1 man out. First walk of the day for Luke Wilkins. 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Wilkins has his sign, the 1-1. And Santisteban grounded towards the middle. Diving try by Wobrock. He's not going to get it. Trail will have to hold at second, and it's a 1-out single for Christian Santisteban. That puts runners at first and second for the Beach Bums with 1 man out, and that brings to the plate the catcher, Kendall Patrick. Patrick, so far on the year, is hitting .237, 3 home runs, and 13 RBIs. So 2 men reach here against Luke Wilkins with 1 man out in this bottom of the second, as Wilkins will look for another big double play ball. Got one in the first inning, tried to get another one here in the second. The runner at second, Elijah Trail. Runner at first, Santisteban. Wilkins has his sign, checks second, and the pitch on the way. And that one's in the dirt. Solkoski goes to block it, and the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. Wilkins got a really quick out here to start the inning. 2-pitch ground out by Steven Patterson, but then back-to-back men reach base. A 3-pitch single for Santisteban and a full count walk to Elijah Trail. Wilkins has his sign. He set the 1-0. This one grounded foul off to the left towards the Beach Bums dugout, and the count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Kendall Patrick, batting from the right side against the righty Luke Wilkins. Patrick has caught all 3 games for Traverse City here in this series. Wilkins looking into Solkoski, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Holds at the belt, and the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. This one grounded to the left side. Wobrock handles it to second for 1 onto first, and it's in time for the double play. Just what Luke Wilkins needed, and that will end the inning. No runs in the inning for the Beach Bums on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 2 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the third, and the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Wild Things, they would go 1-2-3 against Kramer Champlin. Jimmy Yezzo grounded out, Grant Fink grounded out, and Justin Garcia grounded out to end the inning. Due up here in the third will be 8-9-1, Steve Solkoski, Austin Wobrock, and Andrew Heck facing off against Champlin. Now, Champlin's last time out was at Joliet on August the 13th. And that ball game went 7 innings, gave up 3 runs, all those runs earned on 9 hits, walked 2, and struck out 5 in the contest. Got a no decision in that one. So a pretty good outing for him last time on the mound. He's currently on a 4-start win streak and has not picked up a loss since July 15th. The team has won the last 5 starts that he has been on the mound. So Champlin enjoying some success here in the late part of the season, trying to keep it going against the Wild Things. Wild Things trying to retaliate. Now, we told you Kramer Champlin, in his season debut this year, ended up throwing a no-hitter for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Threw that no-hitter, as we look at the schedule, threw that no-hitter earlier this year, did Kramer Champlin, as it was in his first outing of the year. Steve Solkoski steps in to lead things off here in this top of the third. Solkoski so far on the year is no average. He's played in 2 games for the Wild Things. Looking at his Champlin, has his sign. He's set in the pitch. And Solkoski takes this one for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things catcher, Steve Solkoski. As we said, 2 games in his Wild Things career. He's 0 for 3 to start that career. He has struck out once and has not walked. Here's the 0-1, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes even to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on the Wild Things catcher, Solkoski. The backup for Kyle Pollock. Pollock getting a night off here in this one, as he's caught every game since August 6th. Here's the 1-1. And Solkoski takes this one for a strike at the letters. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 strikeout for Kramer Champlin on the day, as he struck out Dave Popkins back in inning number 1. Champlin looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2. And this ball lined over the head of Will Kendra into left center field for a base hit. Steve Solkoski reaches for the first hit of the Wild Things today, his first hit of his Wild Things career, and there's a runner at first with nobody out for the Wild Things. That'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far on the year, hitting .218, 1 home run, and 14 RBIs. Nobody out top of the third. Steve Solkoski reaching base thanks to the leadoff single. His first hit as a Washington Wild Thing. Lefty on righty matchup. Austin Wobrock facing off against Kramer Champlin. Champlin has his sign, the pitch, and Wobrock takes this one high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things shortstop. Nobody out top of the third. Champlin looking into his catcher. Patrick has his sign, he's set, and the 1-0. And Wobrock fouling this one off to the seats. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1. Wobrock's been in that number 9 hole for most of the season now. Has been really doing well in that 9 spot for the Wild Things this year. Has collected most of his 14 RBIs in that position. Champlin has his sign, he's set, and the 1-1. And Wobrock jumps out of the way of that one. The count now swells to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. First time the Wild Things have had the leadoff man on in this ball game. Steve Solkoski taking his lead over there at first. Champlin has his sign, he's set, and the 2-1. And Wobrock popping this one off to the left side towards the Traverse City bullpen, and this will land behind the bullpen and into the seats foul. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here on Austin Wobrock, his second year as a Washington Wild Thing. Steve Solkoski, the runner at first here in the top of the third with nobody out. Champlin has his sign, he's set, and the 2-2. And a swing and a miss there by Wobrock, so he strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the top of the third. Second strikeout of the day for Kramer Champlin, and that'll bring to the plate the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far on the day, 0 for 1, popped out to Christian Santisteban at first, his first time up in last night's game. Heck would go 0 for 3, walked, grounded out, and flew out and popped out in the ball game. So back to the top of the order for the Wild Things. Champlin has his sign, the pitch. And a swing and a miss there by Heck, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things left fielder. 1 man out in this top of the third. Steve Solkoski at first. He singled to lead off the inning for his first Wild Things hit. Champlin has his sign. He's set in the 0-1. And that one bounces to the plate. Kendall Patrick having to block that one. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count, 1 man out. Andrew Heck, the veteran on this Wild Things team, has been in that leadoff spot for quite a while now. Has been doing very well at that position out in left field. Has secured a starting spot in the Wild Things lineup. His .276 average, good for 4th on the team. Champlin has his sign. Here's the 1-1. And this ball hit towards center field. Marcus Dirks going back on it a couple of steps in front of the track, and he's going to make the catch, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 away for the Wild Things now in the top of the third, and that brings to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson, no official at-bat to this point. He walked his first time up. Last night went 2 for 4 with 2 singles, also flew out and struck out in the ball game. 2 men out here in the top of the third. No score between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Grayson batting from the left side against the righty Kramer Champlin. Steve Solkoski takes his lead from first. Champlin has his sign. He's set. And the pitch to Grayson. And this one's on the inside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things center fielder. Grayson's the starting center fielder for the Wild Things. Got the doubleheader off in Windy City back on Sunday. Has played every game here in this series with Traverse City. Here's the 0-1, and this one fouled away by Grayson. Count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on the Wild Things center fielder. 2 men out in this top of the third. No runs on 3 hits for the Beach Bums. No runs on 1 hit for your Washington Wild Things. as Chris Grayson fixes his batting helmet, stepping back in against Champlin. Champlin looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-2 pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1-2. Grayson wisely laying off that one as it was above the letters and on that outside part of the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Champlin looks in to his catcher, Patrick. Has his sign, holds at the belt, and the 1-2 offering. And Grayson takes this one high, so the count evens up at 2-2. Kramer Champlin has had to work here in this inning, giving up the leadoff single to Steve Solkoski. Solkoski at first and a 5-pitch strikeout of Walbrock, and a flyout by Andrew Heck. Has his sign, the 2-2, and this one fouled back by Grayson, so the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Werfel Park, a decent crowd here tonight on this Thursday night. Say just under halfway full here in Traverse City, Michigan. Werfel Park, a unique design here in the Independent League. The facade of the building is like a bunch of beach houses. The owners used to own a lot of beachfront property and wanted to make their team represent that. Champlin has his sign. He's set in the 2-2. And this one's just inside for a ball. Grayson jumping out of the way of that one. And the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Grayson staying alive here against Kramer Champlin as the Wild Things try to push the first run of the game across here in the third. Champlin has his sign. He's set in the 3-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. Grayson strikes out, and that ends the inning. 3rd strikeout of the day for Kramer Champlin. No runs in the inning for the Wild Things on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 2.5 to score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the third, and the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Beach Bums, Elijah Trail walked to lead things off, then Christian Santisteban singled before Kendall Patrick hit into a 6-4-3 double play, and that ended the inning. Due up here in the third, Jeff W., Marcus Dirks, and Casey Rodriguez, 9-1-2, facing off against Luke Wilkins. Now, Wilkins, his last time out was on August 13th at Windy City. Went 5 1/3 in that game. Gave up 5 runs, 3 of those runs earned on 6 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. Pitched a lot better than that stat line shows. Was tagged for a run in the first inning, but then was pretty good up until the 5th inning when he was pulled. That's when most of his runs got to him. So looking for a bounce-back outing tonight. Has picked up a loss in each of the last 3 starts and has not picked up a win since July 1st against the Florence Freedom. So it's been over a month since Wilkins has picked up a win, about a month and a half right now, as he'd love to get one tonight against Traverse City. Stepping up to lead things off for the Beach Bums is the right fielder, Jeff W. W so far on the year is hitting .220 with 1 home run and 24 RBIs. Nobody out, bottom of the third. No score between your Wild Things and the Beach Bums. Luke Wilkins looking in, has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And W takes this one on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count for Luke Wilkins. So far, it's been pretty good at getting ahead of batters early on. It's when he falls behind that he starts falling in trouble. The 0-1, and that one's low for a ball. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. So as long as Wilkins can stay ahead here in this one, he should have a pretty good game against Traverse City. Wilkins has his sign. Here's the 1-1, and this one hit foul by Jeff W. So the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. 1 strikeout, 1 walk for Wilkins on the day. Came in today second on the team with 54 strikeouts behind Matt Frodden. Frodden has 85 on the year. This next pitch, and that one swung on and missed. He strikes out Jeff W., and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the third. 1 up, 1 down. Second strikeout of the day for Luke Wilkins, and that brings to the plate the center fielder, Marcus Dirks. Dirks so far 1 for 1, singled in his first at-bat. In last night's game, Dirks would end up going 1 for 3, singled, walked, grounded out, and popped out in the ball game. 1 man out here in the bottom of the third, no score. Luke Wilkins looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And that one's high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count here on Traverse City center fielder. Singled to lead off the game, as he's gotten a hit in each of the first 3 games against your Wild Things. The 1-0, and that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count, drove in 2 of his team's 4 runs in the opening game of this series on Tuesday night. Wilkins has his sign, the 1-1, and this ball lined into left field, and that'll fall in front of Andrew Heck for a base hit. Marcus Dirk's second hit of the game as he's on once again, this time with a 1-out single. There's a runner at first, 1 out for the Beach Bums, and that'll bring to the plate the left fielder, Casey Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far 0 for 1, hitting a 1-6-3 double play. His last time up did not start in any of the other two games here in this series. Was a pinch runner in game 1, so 1 other appearance. Last night's left fielder was Ryan Bacher. Bacher went 1 for 4. Marcus Dirks takes his lead from first. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Checks first. And the pitch. And Rodriguez bunting, but he'll bunt this one foul over the Beach Bums dugout. And the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wilkins 1 out in the inning as he struck out Jeff Debut to lead things off before giving up that single to Marcus Dirks. Dirks the runner at first. Righty on lefty matchup is Casey Rodriguez batting from the left side against the right-hander Luke Wilkins. Wilkins looks into Solkoski, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 0-1 offering. And this one swung on and missed by Rodriguez, and the count now swells to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count now. Last time out, Wilkins 6 strikeouts against the Windy City Thunderbolts to really up those strikeout numbers on the season. Wilkins looking into his catcher, Solkoski, going through the signs. Shakes off the first one, now wants to go through them once more. Marcus Dirks, the runner at first. Dirks so far on the year for the Traverse City Beach Bums has double digits in steals, up to 12 on the year, second on the team behind Jeff Debut. Throw over to first, and Dirks gets back in there. Wilkins aware of that fact, so he wants to keep an eye on him. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out in this bottom of the third. No score between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Wilkins has his sign, he's set. Checks Dirks, and the 0-2. And Rodriguez lines this one to left field. Andrew Heck coming on, and will make the running catch, and that's good for the second out of this third inning. 2 men out, and that brings up the designated hitter, Jose Vargas. Vargas so far 1 for 1, tripled in his first at-bat in the first inning, and Vargas last night was 1 for 4, doubled, hit into a fielder's choice, flew out and grounded out in the ball game. 2 men out here in this bottom of the third. No score between your Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Luke Wilkins lined the 1-out single to Marcus Dirks, but other than that, he has been good here in this inning. Wilkins looking into Steve Solkoski. Vargas batting from the left side. Wilkins has a sign he likes. He's set. Checks Dirks and the pitch. Dirks taking off for second. Pitch inside. The throw down. And it is not in time. Dirks getting in there for the stolen base. His 13th stolen base of the year. And there's a runner at second now with 2 men out for Traverse City. Dirks has a stolen base in all 3 games here in this series at Werfel Park, as the Wild Things have just not been able to stop him from moving up on the base paths. Dirks the runner at second, 2 men out. Wilkins looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And Vargas takes this one, this time for a strike on the inside corner, and the count evens up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 4 hits given up on the day by Luke Wilkins, 1 hit by his opposition, Kramer Champlin, for the Beach Bums. Wilkins has his sign, he's set, and the 1-1 offering. And this one inside, making Vargas turn out of the way of that one. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on the designated hitter for Traverse City. Second on the team with his .304 average. Tied for first with 12 RBIs. And second with his 44 RBIs. Wilkins has his sign. Checks second, the 2-1. And this one way inside as well. Vargas leaning out of the way. And the count now to 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Jose Vargas, the number 3 hitter, at the plate, facing off against Luke Wilkins. Wilkins looking into Solkoski, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the 3-1. And that one's low, ball 4. Second walk of the day for Luke Wilkins as Jose Vargas reaches with 2 outs, and now there's runners at first and second with 2 outs, and the shortstop, Will Kenger, coming to the plate. Kenger so far 0 for 1. Struck out his last time in yesterday's ball game. Kenger ended up going 1 for 4, singled and scored a run. Also flew out, popped out, and grounded out in the ball game. First and second, 2 men out. Wilkins trying to get out of a jam. Got out of a jam first and second, 1 out last inning. So we'll look to do it with 1 more out here in this one. The pitch, and that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count, 2 men on. 2 walks in the day for Luke Wilkins now to go along with his 2 strikeouts. Wilkins looks into Solkoski, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Holds at the belt, checks Dirks at second, and the 0-1. And a swing and a miss there by Kenger. The count now going to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums shortstop, batting left-handed against the right-hander Luke Wilkins. Marcus Dirks singled 1 out. He's at second after stealing his 13th bag of the year, and Jose Vargas walked with 2 men out. He's over at first. Luke Wilkins looking in, going through the signs, Now has one he likes. He's set, holds at the belt, and the no-ball 2-strike pitch. And a swing and a miss. Wilkins strikes him out, and that will end the inning. Wilkins' 3rd strikeout of the year. No runs in the inning for the Beach Bums on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 3 innings of play, the score: your Washington Wild Things nothing, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 4th, and the score: your Washington Wild Things nothing, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Wild Things, Steve Solkoski would single to lead things off. It was the first hit of the day for the Washington Wild Things. Austin Wobrock would then strike out. Andrew Heck flew out, and Chris Grayson struck out to end the inning. To appear in the 4th, Ricky Rodriguez, Dave Popkins, and Jimmy Gezzo, 3, 4, and 5 against the righty Kramer Champlin. Champlin so far through 3 innings of work has not given up a run, just that 1 hit by Steve Solkoski. He's been very good on the mound, has struck out 3 and has walked 1 over the 3 innings of work. So the Wild Things trying to break through here in inning number 4. Tomorrow night, Wild Things back home at Consol Energy Park, and it's a fireworks night. Fireworks after the ball game tomorrow night. 7:05 first pitch between the Wild Things and the Schaumburg Boomers, as the Wild Things welcome the Boomers in for a 3-game series. For tickets, go to www.washingtonwildthings.com or call the box office at 866-456-WILD. Ricky Rodriguez stepping to the plate to lead things off here in the 4th. Rodriguez so far in this one 0 for 1, popped out in his first at-bat back in inning number 1. In last night's game, Rodriguez would end up going 0 for 4. Flew out twice and struck out twice in the game. Here's Champlin's pitch, and Rodriguez takes this one for a strike at the letters. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things 3rd baseman. Champlin has his sign, the 0-1. And this one grounded foul off to the left past the 3rd base coaching box, and the count goes to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes here on Ricky Rodriguez, 3rd baseman for the Wild Things, still looking for his first hit here in this 3-game series. Champlin has his sign, he's set in the 0-2. And a swing and a miss. Rodriguez strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the top of the 4th. 4th strikeout of the day for Kramer Champlin, and that brings to the plate the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far 0 for 1 with a strikeout here today. In last night's game, Popkins would end up going 0 for 3, flew out twice, struck out, and was hit by a pitch in the ball game. Popkins hit 2 home runs on Tuesday night. The pitch, and Popkins hits this one to center. Marcus Dirks back a couple of steps, and he'll make the catch, and that's good for out number 2. So 2 away now for the Wild Things in the top of the 4th, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far 0 for 1, grounded out in his first at-bat. Last night was 1 for 4, singled, struck out twice, and grounded out in the ball game. 2 men out, top of the 4th, no score between your Wild Things and the Beach Bums. Here's Champlin's pitch, and Yezzo takes this one inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things first baseman, coming back from that ankle injury, starting all 3 games in this series. The 1-0, and this one grounded to the right side, foul. First base coach Mike Marshall will handle that one, and he'll throw it into the stands to a lucky fan. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jimmy Yezzo, wearing that Evo shield over his ankle to make sure he doesn't foul one off that right ankle there, the one he injured. The 1-1, and this one fouled right off that Evo shield, so Yezzo thankful for having that there, as that doesn't feel good. Suffered an ankle sprain in last Thursday night's game against the Lake Erie Crushers. Had his first appearance in a ball game on Sunday in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Came up to pinch hit and has started all 3 games here in this series. He's fine. He'll step back in, and the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And Yezzo to right field and deep. Jeff Debu going back to the track, nearing the wall, and exit stage right. Jimmy Yezzo, a solo home run, and the Wild Things take the lead here in this ball game. It's 1-0 here at Werfel Park. Jimmy Yezzo's 11th home run of the year, and when you need an attorney to hit one out of the park for you, yo, Keith. That home run brought to you by Keith Owen Campbell, attorney at law. Jimmy Yezzo's 11th home run of the season, and the Wild Things take the lead in this one early on. It's 1-0. That'll bring to the plate the second baseman, Grant Fink. Fink so far 0 for 1. Grounded out in his first at-bat, did not play in either of the first 2 games in the series. The pitch, and this one chopped foul off to the left. The count will go to no balls and 1 strike. 0-1 the count. Wild Things taking the early lead here in this ball game. They took the lead last night before losing 6-1. They'll try to hold that lead here today. Grant Fink fouling that one off of his ankle at the plate as he's trying to walk that one off. As we said, never feels good when that happens as a player. No balls, 1 strike, 2 men out. Jamadric Magruder was at second base last night. Magruder went 0 for 3, hit no fielder's choice, grounded out, and struck out in the ball game. No balls and a strike, 2 men out here in this top of the 4th. 1-0 Wild Things lead. Kramer Champlin looking into Patrick, has his side. Here's the 0-1. And Fink takes this one outside for a ball. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on the Wild Things second baseman, batting right-handed against the righty Kramer Champlin. Champlin's 1-1, and this ball popped foul by Grant Fink towards the press box, as that one will land to the right of my booth, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. That one hitting the concourse, and some fans getting a lucky souvenir. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and Fink will foul this one off, so the count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes. This one again landing on the concourse here at Werfel Park. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Grant Fink, the number 6 hitter at the plate. Champlin set. Here's the 1-2. And this one in the dirt for a ball. Count now evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count on the Wild Things second baseman, batting right-handed against the righty Kramer Champlin. 2 men out in this top of the 4th inning. 1-0 Wild Things lead. A run in on the solo homer by Jimmy Yezzo. The 2-2. And a check swing by Fink. Did he go around? No, says Drew Ashcraft out there. And the count now goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Grant Fink, the right-handed hitter. Here's Champlin's 3-2 offering. And this one grounded towards short. Will Kendry will handle it on a hop. Throws to first. And that's in time for out number 3. 6-3 on the putout, and that ends the inning. However, the Wild Things get a run in the inning on 1 hit, the solo homer by Jimmy Yezzo. No errors and nobody left on base. After 3.5 to score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 4th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Beach Bums, Jeff W. would strike out to lead things off. Then Marcus Dirks single with 1 man out. He would steal second base. for his 13th stolen base of the year. Before Casey Rodriguez flew out, Jose Vargas walked, and Will Kenger struck out to end the inning. Due up here in the fourth, Stephen Patterson, Elijah Trail, and Christian Santisteban, 5, 6, and 7 against Luke Wilkins. Wilkins now pitching with a lead in this one, following the solo home run by Jimmy Yezzo. It's 1-0 Washington Wild Things, and coming to the plate to lead things off here for the Beach Bums in this bottom of the fourth will be their second baseman, Stephen Patterson. Patterson so far on the day is 0 for 1, grounded out his first time against Luke Wilkins. Patterson in last night's ball game hitting the number 5 spot as well, and went 2 for 4 with 2 singles, also struck out and grounded out in the game. Wilkins looks in, has his sign, here's the pitch, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the second baseman. Now Steve Solkoski wants to go out to talk to his pitcher, Luke Wilkins. They're getting a chuckle out of that one. I think they might have got a little crossed up on that last play. 1 ball, no strikes the count here to Stephen Patterson. Nobody out in this bottom of the fourth inning. And right now, Dan Roan questioning the umpires here on the field, as apparently there's no count. Wilkins and Solkoski getting a laugh. So is Dan Roan over there at third base. So here's the first pitch of the at-bat. And this ball grounded back up the middle. Luke Wilkins will handle that one. He throws on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1-3 on the putout, and it's 1 up, 1 down for the Beach Bums here in inning number 4. That'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Elijah Trail. Trail so far in the day, no official at-bat. He walked in his first at-bat against Luke Wilkins. Last night, Trail would go 1 for 4, doubled, and struck out 3 times in the ball game. Was a designated hitter in last night's game. 1 man out here in this bottom of the fourth inning. 1-0 Wild Things lead. Luke Wilkins looking into Steve Solkoski, going through his signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch. And that one's in there for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Elijah Trail. Was out there at third base for game 1 of this 3-game series, acquired from the Normal Corn Belters earlier this season. The 0-1, and that one's high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums third baseman. Jose Vargas had the third base duties in last night's ball game. Wilkins 1-1, and this one swung on a miss by Trail, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3 strikeouts so far on the day for Luke Wilkins, had 6 in his last start, so getting those strikeout numbers up. 2 walks for him as well. Wilkins has his sign, he's set in the 1-2 offering. And swinging a slow roller off to the right side. Yezzo will handle it, takes it to the bag himself, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Beach Bums here in the fourth, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Christian Santisteban. Santisteban so far 1 for 1. Singled in his first at-bat, did not play in either of the first 2 games here in this series. Giancarlo Bergoni got the shot in those 2 games. Last night, Bergoni ended up going 1 for 4 with a 2-run home run, also struck out twice, and would fly out in the ball game. So 2 men out here in the bottom of the fourth. 1-0 Wild Things lead. Wilkins has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Santisteban, batting left-handed against the right-hander Luke Wilkins. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Here's the 1-0. And this one fouled back to the screen. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on Traverse City's first baseman. 2 men out, bottom of the fourth. 1-0 Wild Things lead. The solo home run by Jimmy Yezzo, the only offense here in this one. Wilkins has his sign. He's set, and the 1-1. And Santisteban fouling this one back. Slow roller to the screen, and the count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Luke Wilkins looking for his first 1-2-3 inning in this ball game. Faced 4 in the first. That's the lowest number of batters he's faced. Wilkins looking into Solkoski, going through his signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the 1-2 pitch. And this one's outside for a ball, so can't get Santisteban to chase, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 on the Traverse City's left-handed hitting first baseman. Wilkins has his sign, he's set, and the 2-2 pitch. And a ground ball to first. Jimmy Yezzo handles it on a hop. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that's in time for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Beach Bums here in the fourth. And after 4 here at Werfel Park, your score: Washington Wild Things 1, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the fifth, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Traverse City Beach Bums 0. Last inning for the Wild Things, they get their first run here in this ball game as Ricky Rodriguez struck out to lead things off, and Dave Popkins flew out, and Jimmy Yezzo came through with a solo home run, his 11th home run of the season. That gave the Wild Things a 1-0 lead. Next batter, Grant Fink, would ground out, and that would end the inning. Due up here in the fifth, Justin Garcia, Steve Solkowski, and Austin Wobrock, 7, 8, and 9, facing off against Kramer Champlin. Champlin needed just 14 pitches to get through that fourth inning against the Washington Wild Things. Even though he gave up a run in that inning, it was his second lowest number of pitches, through 11 in the second in his 1-2-3 inning of work. Champlin in his second year with the Traverse City Beach Bums, so far 4-5 this year with a 2.64 ERA coming into tonight. Also spent some time in minor league baseball as he was drafted and had some time there before joining the Frontier League. Stepping in to lead things off here in the top of the fifth, the designated hitter, Justin Garcia. Garcia so far in the night 0 for 1 with a ground out. In last night's game, Garcia would DH as well, and he went 1 for 4, hitting his first Wild Things home run of the season. Also flew out twice and struck out in the ball game. Nobody out here in the top of the fifth as Garcia looks to get things started against Kramer Champlin. 1-0 Wild Things lead. Champlin looks in, going through his signs with his catcher. Patrick has his sign, the pitch. And jumping out of the way of that one's Garcia, as that's low and in, and the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count. That one nearly getting Garcia on the foot. Batting left-handed, starting his second straight game as a designated hitter. Got the Wild Things on the board early with the solo home run last night. Champlin has his sign, the 1-0, and this ball hit towards center field. Marcus Dirks going back on it, a couple of steps in front of the track, and he'll make the catch, and that's good for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the fifth, and that brings to the plate the catcher, Steve Solkowski. Solkowski so far on the night, 1 for 1 with a single, as Kyle Pollock caught the first 2 games of the series. Pollock last night went 0 for 2, walked, hit into a double play, and popped out on the night. Solkowski getting his first Wild Things hit back in the third inning. It's the first hit of the night for the Wild Things. They lead 1-0. Here's the pitch, and Solkowski takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on the Wild Things catcher, Steve Solkowski, came to the Wild Things from the Can-Am League earlier this year. The 1-0, and this one fouled back to the screen. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Solkowski signed because the Wild Things needed a backup catcher. They signed Zach Fish originally as a catcher, but Fish in his time with the Wild Things just played DH, caught 1 game, and then was released. So Solkowski, the backup for the Wild Things. The 1-1, and a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Steve Solkowski. 4 strikeouts in the night for Kramer Champlin through the first 4 in the third innings of work on the mound today. Champlin looking into his catcher, Kendall Patrick, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And Solkowski checks his swing. Did he go around? Yes, says Drew Ashcraft. He is called out, swinging on strikes, and that is out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in the fifth. And that brings to the plate the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far 0 for 1. Struck out in his first at-bat in inning number 3. 1-0 Wild Things lead. 2 outs here in the top of the fifth at Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Wild Things took game 1 by the score of 5-4 and would end up losing game 2 last night by the score of 6-1. Here's the pitch. That one's high and outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count to the Wild Things shortstop, Wobrock. Wobrock in his second year with this Washington Wild Things team. Kramer Champlin looking in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 1-0 offering. And Wobrock takes this one low for a ball. Count goes even to 1 ball and 1 strike. Or 2 balls and no strikes, excuse me. 2-0 the count on Wobrock. Champlin looking in, set at the belt, the 2-0. This ball lined towards short, handled by Will Kendra over there, throws onto the first base bag, and that's in time for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in the fifth, and after 4.5 to score, Wild Things 1, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the fifth, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Luke Wilkins picking up a 1-2-3 inning. In the bottom half of the fourth, got Steven Patterson to ground out, Elijah Trail would ground out, and Christian Santisteban would ground out to end the inning. Due up here in the fifth, Kendall Patrick, Jeff Debut, and Marcus Dirks, 8, 9, and 1. Facing off against Luke Wilkins. Now, Wilkins has been around the block in terms of the baseball world. Prior to joining the Wild Things in 2015, he spent 6 seasons as part of the Australian Baseball League, pitching for his hometown, Sydney, Australia, the Sydney Blue Stocks. In his career in the Australian League, he played 6 seasons there, compiled a record of 11-6, a 3.74 ERA in 54 games. 14 of those starts here in the Frontier League. His second year has a 10-11 record with a 3.78 ERA. Led the Wild Things in both wins and strikeouts a year ago. 8 wins and 77 strikeouts for the right-hander. So far this year, 2-6, as he was injured to start the year, and has 55 strikeouts, second on the team so far in the year. Stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of the fifth, the catcher, Kendall Patrick. Patrick so far 0 for 1, hitting to a double play his first time. Patrick last night went 1 for 3. This pitch grounded towards the middle. Wobrock dives, and he's not going to get it. It's off the tip of his glove. Base hit for Kendall Patrick. Leadoff single here in the bottom of the fifth, and Traverse City has a man on with nobody out. That'll bring up their right fielder, Jeff Debut. Debut so far in this one, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. In last night's game, Debut would end up going 0 for 3, grounded out and flew out twice in the ball game. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth. Wild Things lead 1-0. Luke Wilkins looking in, going through the signs with his catcher Solkoski. Has one he likes. He's set, checks the runner at first, and the pitch on the way. Debut showing bunt. He gets this one down, but it rolls foul, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Luke Wilkins, his quickest inning of work last inning, a 1-2-3 inning. Took him 10 pitches to get through that fourth inning of play. No balls and a strike. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth. Runner at first, Kendall Patrick, as he led this inning off with a single. Wilkins has his sign. He's set in the 0-1. Patrick taking off for second, but this one grounded off to the right and foul, and the count now going to 0-2. Traverse City at the hit and run on there against Luke Wilkins, but Debut gets that ball in foul territory, so Patrick going to have to go back to his first base bag. First base coach Jake Rhodes retrieving that foul ball for Traverse City. Jake Rhodes, the pitching coach for these Traverse City Beach Bums, as he coaches first base for them as well. Wilkins has his sign, checks Patrick at first, and the 0-2 offering. And a swing and a miss. Wilkins strikes out Jeff Debut, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the fifth. For Wilkins, his 4th strikeout of the day. That brings to the plate the center fielder, Marcus Dirks. Dirks so far in this one, 2 for 2, singled in the first and singled and stole a base in inning number 3. One man out here in this bottom of the fifth inning. 1-0 Wild Things lead. Traverse City out hitting your Wild Things 5-2 in the ball game, but the Wild Things leading in the one category that matters, that's the scoreboard, as they lead 1-0. Wilkins has his sign. He's set, checks first in the pitch. And Dirks takes this one in the inside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 here on the Traverse City center fielder. One man out in this bottom of the fifth inning, as we're halfway home here from Warfel Park. Luke Wilkins has his sign. He's set, checks Patrick at first, and the no ball, 1-strike pitch. And this ball lined towards left center field. Grayson and Heck giving chase. Grayson drifting over, and he'll make the catch, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 away for the Beach Bums here in the bottom of the fifth. Kendall Patrick will go back to his position at first base, and that'll bring to the plate the left fielder, Casey Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far in the day, 0 for 2, hitting a 1-6-3 double play in the first, and flew out in inning number 3. 2 men out, bottom of the fifth, 1-0 Wild Things lead. Their only run coming courtesy of the Jimmy Yezzo solo home run. It was Yezzo's 11th home run of the season that got the Wild Things on the board. Casey Rodriguez at the plate. Luke Wilkins has his sign. He's set, and the pitch on the way. Throw over to first, and Kendall Patrick gets back. The ball skips away from Jimmy Yezzo, and that'll allow Patrick to move up to second. Throwing error there on Luke Wilkins. E1 is going to allow the man to reach second now with 2 men out. So Kendall Patrick moving up. Patrick's numbers in terms of stolen bases on the year for the Traverse City Beach Bums. He has not stolen a base in 38 games. Took off earlier in the Marcus Dirks at-bat as the hit and run was on, but Dirks only fouled that one off, and they had to do it again. Luke Wilkins looking in to Steve Solkoski. Kendall Patrick, the runner at second with 2 men out. Wilkins has his sign, checks Patrick out there, and the pitch on the way. And this ball grounded softly towards the mound. Luke Wilkins will handle it. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 3. No runs in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 5 innings of play here at Warfel Park, the score: your Washington Wild Things 1, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 6th, and the score: your Washington Wild Things 1 and the Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Washington Wild Things. They would go 1-2-3. Justin Garcia flew out. Steve Solkoski struck out, and Austin Wobrock grounded out to end the inning. Due up here in the 6th. 1-2-3 for the Wild Things. Andrew Heck, Chris Grayson, and Ricky Rodriguez against Kramer Champlin. Champlin has been very good so far. Just that one mistake pitch haunting him here in this one through 5 innings. He's given up just that 1 run. It was earned on only 2 hits on the night. Has ended up walking 1 batter and has struck out 5 on the night. He's thrown 70 pitches through 5 innings of work. So pitch count not at all a problem for Kramer Champlin here in this one. Both starters in this series for Traverse City have gone 6. Augie Gallardo took 101 pitches to go 6 innings last night. And then, Michael Shreves went 6 innings in Game 1 of this 3-game series. So Kramer Champlin trying to at least duplicate that here in this one. Andrew Heck stepping into the plate to lead things off here in the top of the 6th. Heck so far in this one, 0 for 2, popped out in the first and flew out in inning number 3. Nobody out top of the 6th. 1-0 your Wild Things lead over Traverse City. Heck stepping in. Looking in is Kramer Champlin going through the signs. Has one. He's setting the pitch. And Heck takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 count. Champlin just 1 walk on the day compared to his 5 strikeouts. Champlin's 1-0. And Heck takes this one outside as well. Count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Kramer Champlin, 70 pitches entering this inning here. So very good in the pitch count department. It's been efficient all night long. Here's the 2-0. And this ball popped up by Andrew Heck. Shallow center. Coming in is Marcus Dirks. Dirks will make the catch. And that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the 6th. And that'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far 0 for 1. Walked and stole a base in the first and struck out in inning number 3. 1 man out here in this top of the 6th inning. 1-0 Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Grayson making his way to the plate, batting second for the Wild Things, as he has for most of this season. Batting the number 3 hole when he was first acquired, but him and Rodriguez switching spots as he's made a living in that number 2 spot. Grayson showing bunt will get this one down. Champlin coming off the mound to field. His throw to first is going to be well late, so it's an infield single for Chris Grayson. Runner reaches base now for the Wild Things with 1 man out. Grayson getting that ball and hustling down the line as he's able to beat out the throw from Champlin. Champlin, the only one who could have even made a play on that one, as Santisteban had to cover first, and the ball was too far away for Kendall Patrick to do anything about that one. That brings up the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far in the day, 0 for 2, popped out in the first and struck out in inning number 4. 1 man out here in the top of the 6th inning. Wild Things looking for some insurance as they lead this one 1-0 over the Beach Bums. Kramer Champlin has his sign. He's set, and a throw over to first. And Grayson getting back. Grayson leads the team with 14 stolen bases, picked up his 14th stolen base of the year after walking in inning number 1. Champlin looks in, another throw over, and again Grayson gets back. The Traverse City Beach Bums not paying attention to Chris Grayson his last time on base, and he hurt him stealing on the very first pitch. So Champlin trying to ensure that doesn't happen again here in this inning. Has his sign, he's set. Grayson takes off for second. Pitch it outside the throw, and Grayson in there again. His second stolen base of the day, his 15th stolen base of the year, and there's a runner at second now with one man out for the Wild Things. Grayson got a really early jump there on Kramer Champlin and slides in easily ahead of the throw of Kendall Patrick. Want to know the count here on Ricky Rodriguez? Rodriguez, 26 RBIs on the year, good for third on the team behind Jimmy Yezzo and Dave Popkins, looking to pick up his man at second base and give the Wild Things a little cushion here in this ball game. Kramer Champlin looking in, going through his signs with Kendall Patrick. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks second and the 1-0 offering. And this one swung on and missed by Rodriguez, so the count will go even at 1-1 strike. 1-1 the count. Rodriguez going outside of the zone to chase after that one, as he was able to lay off the first time when Grayson was stealing. Champlin looks in. Grayson takes his lead from second. Champlin holds at the belt, and the 1-1 offering. And a swing and a miss there again by Rodriguez, and the count now going to 1-2 strikes. 1-2 the count on the Wild Things third baseman, trying to find his legs at the plate, as he has not looked comfortable at all this series. His average dropped to 290, was hitting 308 coming into this road trip. Kramer Champlin looking in, going through the signs. Champlin has one he likes, he's set, holds at the belt, checks second, and the 1-2 pitch. And Rodriguez following that one back to the screen. Count remains 1-2 strikes. Rodriguez on that one, but unfortunately a little bit late, as he just does get a piece of it in 1-2 strikes. 1-2 the count, one man out. Wild Things would love to get some insurance runs here at Werfel Park, as the ball's been flying out this series. 2 homers for Popkins in game 1. There were 2 homers hit last night and a home run already hit tonight. Champlin checks second and the 1-2 strike pitch. And Rodriguez pops this one up foul off to the right. That'll get back over the stadium and in foul territory. Count stays at 1-2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Ricky Rodriguez. One man out in this top of the 6th inning. 1-0 Wild Things lead. Chris Grayson, the runner at second, he takes his lead out there. Champlin looking into Kendall Patrick. Shakes off the first sign, now has one he likes. He's set, holds at the belt, and the 1-2 pitch. And Rodriguez again fouling this one off to the right side, and that again will go over top of the stadium, and the count remains 1-2 strikes. 3 straight foul balls here for Ricky Rodriguez, batting in the number 3 spot for the Wild Things. Played for the Amarillo Thunderheads a year ago, his first year with the Washington Wild Things. Champlin looking in, going through the signs with Kendall Patrick, as Chris Grayson takes his lead from second. Champlin has one he wants, he's set, holds at the belt, and the 1-2 offering to Grayson. And this ball grounded to the left side, past the diving third baseman Vargas into left field, a base hit. Grayson had to wait to see if that one's going to get through, so he has to hold it third. It's a single for Ricky Rodriguez with one out. Now there are runners at first and third for your Wild Things, and that brings to the plate the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far on the day, 0 for 2, struck out in the first and flew out in inning number 4. A 7-pitch at-bat there for Ricky Rodriguez before he's able to single through the left hole past a diving third baseman, Elijah Trail. Chris Grayson at third, Ricky Rodriguez at first, with one man out, and the leading RBI guy for the Wild Things stepping to the plate in the form of Dave Popkins. Kramer Champlin looking in. Santisteban holding on the runner at first. Elijah Trail playing about even with the third base bag, and the 2 middle infielders double play depth. The pitch, and this one grounded to first. Santisteban to second for 1, on to first, and it's in time for the double play, and that will end the inning. 3-6-1, and the inning is over. No runs for the Wild Things on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 5.5, the score. Your Washington Wild Things 1, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 6th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Traverse City Beach Bums, Kendall Patrick would single to start things, then Jeff W. would strike out before Marcus Dirks flew out and Casey Rodriguez grounded out to end the inning. Due up here in the 6th, Jose Vargas, Will Kenger, and Steven Patterson, 3, 4, and 5, facing off against Luke Wilkins, and Wilkins has been very good in this ball game for your Washington Wild Things. So far through 5 innings, has not given up a run on 5 hits on the night, has walked 2, and has struck out 4 on the day, being very efficient on the mound as well, as he's only thrown 65 pitches through 5 innings of work. So we'll look to continue that consistency here in inning number 6. First man to face him is the designated hitter, Jose Vargas. Vargas so far is 1 for 1, tripled in the first, and walked in inning number 3. Nobody out, bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Wild Things lead here from Werfel Park. Game 3 of this 3-game series, the last game on this 6-game road trip. Wild Things coming home for a nice 10-game actually homestand. 10 games in 10 days, as Solkoski gets in the dirt and blocks that one, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wild Things' last homestand of the year, so be sure to get your tickets and come out and see your Wild Things for the last time in the regular season at Consol Energy Park. For tickets, go to www.washingtonwildthings.com or call the box office at 866-456-WILD. Our next broadcast tomorrow night, 7:05. I have family matters to attend to, but I'm leaving you in good hands. Nate Rigotti and Tony Buscili will bring the action from Consol Energy Park, Game 1 of that 3-game series with the Schaumburg Boomers. I'll be back Saturday night at 7:05 for Game 2. Luke Wilkins looking in to his catcher, Steve Solkoski. Here's the 1-0 offering. And this one grounded foul, so the count will even up now at 1 ball and 1 strike. That one going to the on-deck circle here by the Washington Wild Things dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. Bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Wild Things lead. A run on 4 hits and an error for Washington. No runs on 5 hits for Traverse City. The 1-1 grounded to short. Austin Wobrock handles it. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for Traverse City here in the bottom of the 6th. And that'll bring to the plate the shortstop, Will Kenger. Kenger so far 0 for 2. Struck out in both the first and third innings here in this ball game. 1 man out, bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Wild Things lead. Kenger's been hitting the cleanup spot for the Traverse City Beach Bums all series. You don't normally see a shortstop hitting in that cleanup role, but Kenger 7 home runs on the year, 3rd on the team in that category, so he gets the nod as the cleanup man. The pitch, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count on Traverse City. Shortstop has 41 RBIs on the year. That's good for 3rd on the team as well, behind Jose Vargas and Steven Patterson. The pitch, and that one's a called strike this time. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. 4 strikeouts and 2 walks on the day for Luke Wilkins so far in 5 1/3 innings. So been doing pretty well in those 2 departments. The 1-1, this one fouled off back to the left, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 on Will Kenger. 1 man out from Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan. As we said, Wild Things coming home for a nice 10-game homestand to finish out the regular season at Consol Energy Park. They will finish out the regular season on the road with 3 in Windy City and 3 in Avon, Ohio against the Crushers. The 1-2, and that one, a curveball bounces up to the plate. Solkoski able to block that one, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wilkins wanted the chase there, but did not get it. 2-2, 1 man out. 1-0 Wild Things lead here in the bottom half of the 6th at Werfel Park. Luke Wilkins looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-2. And that one's just off the outside corner, and the count will go full to Luke Wilkins. Wilkins thought he had strike 3 called there as he shakes his head, getting back onto the mound. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Wilkins looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 3-2 offering. And this ball grounded to the right side. Grant Fink charging, handles it on a hop, flips to first, and it's just in time to get the hustling Kendra down the line. That's out number 2. Nice play there by Grant Fink, having to hurry on that slow roller, and feeds a perfect pitch to Jimmy Yezzo at first. 2 men out here in this bottom of the 6th, and that'll bring to the plate the second baseman, Steven Patterson. Patterson so far 0 for 2. Grounded out in the second and grounded out in inning number 4. 2 men out, bottom of the 6th, 1-0. The Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Luke Wilkins looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And this ball fouled back to the screen. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums second baseman, batting from the left side against the right-hander Luke Wilkins. 2 men out in this bottom of the 6th. Wilkins looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1. This ball popped up to the right side. Grant Fink out to shallow right. He'll call everyone off, and he'll make the catch, and that's in time for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Beach Bums here in the 6th, and after 6 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Traverse City Beach Bums 0. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass is installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 7th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Traverse City Beach Bums 0. Last inning for the Wild Things, Andrew Heck flew out to start things. Then Chris Grayson would single and steal second base with 1 man out. There'd be a runner at second, and then Ricky Rodriguez would single to put runners at first and third with 1 out before Dave Popkins into a 3-6-1 double play. That would end the inning. Due up here in the 7th, Jimmy Yezzo, Grant Fink, and Justin Garcia, 5, 6, and 7 against Kramer Champlin. Now, Champlin has a history against the Washington Wild Things in 3 career starts against the Wild Things, 2 of those this year. He has a record of 1-2 and a 2.25 ERA against Washington. This season, 1-1. Picked up a win the first time he faced the Wild Things and lost his last time out. So he'll be facing Jimmy Yezzo now with nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Yezzo's provided the only offense in this ball game so far in the day. Yezzo is 1 for 2, grounded out in the second and hit a solo home run back in inning number 4. Kramer Champlin in for his 7th inning of work, so has officially gone longer than any other Traverse City starter in the series. Here's Champlin's pitch, and Yezzo grounds this one to the right side, handled by Santisteban. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that's in time for out number 1. So quickly, 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the top of the 7th, and that'll bring to the plate the second baseman, Grant Fink. Fink so far in this ball game, 0 for 2, grounded out in the second, and grounded out in inning number 4. 1 man out here in this top of the 7th inning, 1-0 Wild Things lead. There is action in the Traverse City bullpen as a right-hander gets up and starts throwing. Here's Kramer Champlin's pitch, and Fink takes this one for a strike at the knees. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things second baseman. Pretty nice defensive play in the bottom half of last inning. Handled a slow roller and flipped the ball to Yezzo on a perfect feed for the out. That was out number 2 in the inning. That next pitch, and that one's a called strike, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 here on Fink. Champlin has his sign. He's set, and the 0-2 offering. And Fink pops this one up. Left field, Casey Rodriguez coming in on it a couple of steps, and he'll make the catch, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in the 7th. That brings to the plate the designated hitter, Justin Garcia. Garcia so far 0 for 2, grounded out in the second, and flew out in inning number 5. 2 men out here in this top of the 7th inning, as the Wild Things lead 1-0. Kramer Champlin looking in, righty on lefty matchup. Champlin has his sign, he's set, and the pitch to Garcia. This one swung on a miss, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Wild Things designated hitter. His second straight game is the DH. DH in last night's game as well. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Champlin's 0-1 offering. And a swing and a miss there by Garcia. That one dipping down and in, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2, 2 men out here in the top of the 7th. 1-0 Wild Things lead. Righty Kramer Champlin facing off against the left-handed hitter Justin Garcia. Last game of this 3-game series, last game of this 6-game road trip. Here's the 0-2, and that one's high and outside for a ball. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 men out, top of the 7th. A run on 4 hits and an error for the Wild Things. No runs, 5 hits for the Beach Bums. Champlin's 1-2 offering, and a swing and a miss. Garcia strikes out. Patrick will have to throw down to first to complete the strikeout. He does, and that ends the inning. 1-2-3 go your Wild Things here in the 7th, and after 6.5, the score, your Washington Wild Things 1, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 7th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 1 and the Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Beach Bums, they went 1-2-3 against Luke Wilkins. Jose Vargas would ground out to lead things off. Then Will Kendrick grounded out, and Steven Patterson popped out to end the inning. Due up here in the 7th, Elijah Trail, Christian Santistaban, and Kendall Patrick, 6, 7, and 8, facing off against Luke Wilkins. Wilkins out there for his 7th inning of work for the Wild Things. Last time, 5 1/3. Wilkins also has a history against these Traverse City Beach Bums. 2 starts, a career record of 1-1 with a 9.00 ERA. And in his 2 starts, he has had opposite results in the past. In his win, last time out, went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, all earned. And in the start before that last season, he went 3 innings and gave up 6 runs, all of those earned. So Luke Wilkins having a much better start tonight. No earned runs through 6 innings of work here at Werfel Park. Stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th, the third baseman Elijah Trail. Trail so far 0 for 1. Walked in the 2nd and grounded out in inning number 4. Nobody out, bottom of the 7th. 1-0 Wild Things lead. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And this ball grounded left side. Diving catch by Ricky Rodriguez. What a play over there. He sprawls out and makes the catch on the line drive. Out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th. A sparkler there by Ricky Rodriguez, laying out and making the catch, and that is out number 1. That'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Christian Santistaban. Santistaban so far 1 for 2, single in the 2nd, and grounded out in inning number 4. Rodriguez making a nice diving catch there. Luke Wilkins looking into Solkoski, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Christian Santistaban, the number 7 hitter in the order for Traverse City. Santistaban in his first year with the Beach Bums. Wilkins has his sign. Here's the 0-1. And that one's a called strike as well, hitting the outside corner. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Luke Wilkins had 65 pitches through 5 innings of work through 11 in the 6th, and so far really efficient here in this inning. The 0-2, and Santistaban gets hit on the foot, so it's a hit by pitch. That'll put a runner on base with 1 man out for the Traverse City Beach Bums. That brings to the plate the catcher, Kendall Patrick. Patrick so far was 1 for 2, hitting to a 6-4-3 double play in the 2nd, and singled in inning number 5. 1 man out, bottom of the 7th. 1-0 Wild Things lead over the Beach Bums here at Werfel Park. First man hit by a pitch today by Luke Wilkins. Has 2 walks on the night to go along with his 4 strikeouts. Wilkins looking in, has his sign. He's set. Checks the runner at first, and the pitch on the way. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Santistaban at first. He's the first base runner since Kendall Patrick back in the bottom of the 5th for the Traverse City Beach Bums. Wilkins looking into Solkoski, going through the signs. Has one he likes. He's set. And the 1-0 offering. And this pitch is up high for a ball. Count now going to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on Kendall Patrick. He's been behind the plate in all 3 games for Traverse City here in this series. Gabby Warby is the backup catcher. We have not seen him yet in the series. Wilkins has his sign, the 2-0, And Patrick takes this one high, so the count now going to 3 balls and no strikes. Wilkins got the first out quickly in this inning on one pitch. Diving catch by Ricky Rodriguez at third base. Then Santisteban hit by a pitch, and now Patrick down 3-0 to Wilkins. Wilkins has his sign. He's set, checks first, and the 3-0 offering. And this pitch is on the outside. No, it's outside off the plate for a ball. So it's a 4-pitch walk to Kendall Patrick. That'll put runners at first and second now with one man out. And breaks to the plate the number 9 hitter, right fielder Jeff W. W so far in the day is 0 for 2. He's struck out twice against Luke Wilkins here in this ball game. No action in the Wild Things bullpen. Wild Things lead 1-0 here. They got their lone run in this ball game on a solo home run by Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo hitting that home run in the 4th inning. That's really been the only offense for the Wild Things today. They've been out-hit by Traverse City. 5 hits for the Beach Bums, 4 hits for your Washington Wild Things. But for now, leading on the scoreboard. Wilkins will try to get out of this jam. Has his sign. He's set as Debut steps in. Checks second. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss there by Jeff W. And the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count. Wilkins has struck out Debut twice here today. 2 of his 4 strikeouts. Will Kenger owns his other 2 strikeouts. Wilkins has his sign. He's set. Checks the runner Santisteban at second. The 0-1. This ball grounded to the right side. Yezzo handles to second for 1. On to first, and there'll be no play at first. They'll throw to third as Santisteban slipped around the bag, but Santisteban able to get back. So it's a fielder's choice. 3-6 on the putout. Jeff W. replaces Kendall Patrick at first. Moving up to third is Christian Santisteban, and that'll bring out the leadoff man, Marcus Dirks. Dirks so far 2 for 3. Singled in the first, singled and stole a base in the third, and flew out in inning number 5. Runners at first and third for the Beach Bums. 2 men out, bottom of the 7th. Wild Things lead 1-0. Luke Wilkins nearly got the double play ball, just hit a little bit too slowly to retire Debut running down the line at first. Wilkins looks in, has his sign, he's set. Checks the runner at third, and the pitch on the way. And this one up high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Beach Bum center fielder's been the leadoff man in all 3 games of this 3-game series against your Washington Wild Things. Wilkins looks in, has his sign, checks Santisteban at third, and the 1-0 on the way. And Dirks checks his swing, but he's able to hold up, and that one goes down and in. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. We've had really good weather here at Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan. Had a little bit of rain on Wednesday morning, but by game time on Wednesday, nice sunny skies. We've had these sunny blue skies for all 3 games here in this series. Wilkins looks into Solkoski, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-ball, no-strike pitch. And this one's inside for a ball, so the count's swelling now to 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0 the count here on Marcus Dirks, and right now Wilkins in danger of loading the bases. There is action now in the Wild Things bullpen as a right-hander starts to throw. Wilkins has his sign, he's set, and the 3-0, and that one's high ball 4, so another 4-pitch walk for Wilkins here now, his second walk of the inning, and that brings manager Greg Langben out of the Wild Things dugout with action in the bullpen. We'll see if he makes a move. He has not signaled to this point. Wilkins 2 outs and the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 7th. Langben also factors as the pitching coach for the Wild Things, and actually looks like he's just going out there to talk to his righty right now. Bases are loaded for the Traverse City Beach Bums with nobody out here in this inning. Manager Greg Langben actually used to coach for these Traverse City Beach Bums, spent 5 years in the organization from 2008 to 2013, time with the Beach Bums, currently in his first year with the Washington Wild Things. He goes back to the Wild Things dugout, and Wilkins will get a chance here to face Casey Rodriguez, the left fielder. Rodriguez so far 0 for 3, hit into a double play in the first, flew out in the third, and grounded out in inning number 5. 2 men out, bottom of the 7th, 1-0 Wild Things lead. Christian Santisteban, the runner at third. Jeff Debut at second, and Marcus Dirks over at first. Santisteban was hit. W reached on a fielder's choice, and Marcus Dirks walked. First pitch to Rodriguez, and that one's up high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Casey Rodriguez out in left field. Wilkins trying to get out of this bases loaded 2-out jam. Wilkins looking into his catcher, Solkoski. Has his sign, he's set. Holds the letters, the 1-0. And that one's low for a ball as well, so Wilkins falling behind Rodriguez, 2 balls and no strikes. And if you're Luke Wilkins, not what you wanted to do coming out in this inning. You got the first out rather quickly, then hit a man, walked somebody, a fielder's choice, which looked like could have been a double play ball, just developed too slowly. The 2-0, and this one popped up. Right center field. Now it has some carry on it towards the track. Grayson on the track, and he makes the running catch. And that's in time for out number 3. Grayson racing to the right center field gap and makes the catch at the wall. That retires the side. No runs in the inning for the Beach Bums on no hits, no errors, and they left 3 men on base. After 7 innings of play, the score: your Washington Wild Things 1, Traverse City nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple: with expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 8th, and the score: your Washington Wild Things 1, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. New pitcher on for the Beach Bums as it'll be right-hander Jacob Lanning. Lanning so far on the year for Traverse City has a record of 4-5, a 4.25 ERA. Appearing in his 24th game, he has made 8 starts on the year, has thrown 67 2/3 innings of work, giving up 35 runs, 32 of those earned, on 72 hits, 39 strikeouts, and 15 walks on the season. The final line for the starter, Kramer Champlin. Champlin goes 7 in this one, gives up 1 run. That 1 run was earned on 4 hits, walked 1, and struck out 6 in the ball game. Jacob Lanning has made 1 other appearance in this series. He appeared in Friday night's ball game for Traverse City, and in that ball game, Lanning would go an inning, gave up 1 hit, and struck out 3 on the night. Took him 18 pitches to get through that 1 inning of work. Due up to face him here in the 8th inning for the Wild Things, 8-9-1, Steve Solkoski, Austin Wolbrock, and Andrew Heck up for the Wild Things. Top of the 8th, Wild Things lead by the score of 1-0 over the Traverse City Beach Bums. As Solkoski stepping in now, Solkoski so far 1 for 2, single and a strikeout of the day. Lanning has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Solkoski hitting this one to left center field. Dirks giving chase over by the track, and he'll make the catch. And that's in time for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 away for the Wild Things here in the top of the 8th. And that'll bring to the plate their shortstop, Austin Wolbrock. Wolbrock so far on the day is 0 for 2, struck out and grounded out here in this contest. 1 man out in the top of the 8th. Jacob Lanning retires the first man he faces on just 1 pitch here in the ball game. For Kramer Champlin on the night, it took him 90 pitches to get through 7 innings of work. First pitch to Wolbrock, and that one's a called strike on the inside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Austin Wolbrock. 1 man out in this top of the 8th inning. Lanning has his sign. He's set in the 0-1. And that one's up high. Wolbrock leaning out of the way, and the count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count on the Wild Things shortstop. Right-hander in the bullpen for the Wild Things warming up. That's Andrew Wick out there. Lanning has his sign. He's set in the 1-1. And that one's a called strike as well. This one hitting the knees on Wolbrock, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count on the Wild Things shortstop. Was second on the team in RBIs last season. Currently in his 2nd year with the Wild Things. Lanning has his sign, the 1-2. And this ball fouled off by Wolbrock, so the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count on the 2nd-year man on this Wild Things team from Costa Mesa, California. Batting left-handed against the right-hander Jacob Lanning. Lanning, the first pitcher used out of the bullpen for Traverse City. Lanning looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2. And Wobrock hitting this one to left field, and that'll fall in for a base hit in front of Casey Rodrigue. A one-out single gives the Wild Things a base runner here in the top of the 8th as they look to add on some insurance. That'll bring to the plate the left fielder Andrew Heck. Heck so far 0 for 3 in this ball game. Popped out in the first, flew out in the third, and flew out in inning number 6. One man out top of the 8th. Austin Wobrock gets on with his first base hit of the day as the lineup turns over, going through the 4th time around now for the Wild Things. Heck stepping in, batting right-handed. Here's Lanning's pitch. And that one's a called strike, just hitting the knees, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. Phil Pupillo saying that one goes across the knees on Andrew Heck. Now, Wobrock was a 2-year man. Heck in his 4th year with the team. Lanning has his sign, the 0-1, and that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. So Andrew Heck, the veteran on this Washington Wild Things team, has been with the team since the 2012 season as part of their outfield. Currently the starting left fielder for your Wild Things. Jacob Lanning looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-1. And Heck fouls this one back over the stadium here at Werfel Park, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count, 1 man out here in this top of the 8th inning. 1-0 Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Austin Wobrock at first has 6 stolen bases on the year, tied for second, a 3-way tie with Andrew Heck and Jamadric Gruder. The 1-2, that one's low and outside. Heck able to lay off that one, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here on Andrew Heck. 4th time through the lineup for the Washington Wild Things late in this one. Both starting pitchers throwing very well in this one. Both have gone 7. Wilkins still in the ballgame. However, there is Andrew Wick out in the bullpen. Lanning throw over to first, and Wobrock gets back in. For Luke Wilkins, giving up 5 hits and no runs through 7 innings of work. He's doing very well on the mound. Kramer Champlin gave up 1 through 7 in his outing. Jacob Lanning has his sign. He's set, checks first, and the 2-2. And this ball fouled back to the screen, so the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. Heck just getting a piece of that one there off of Jacob Lanning. Staying alive with 1 man out in this top of the 8th inning. 1-0 Wild Things lead. Trying to get a series win here in Traverse City. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Jacob Lanning, another throw over to first. Quick move there. And Austin Wobrock able to get back. Wobrock not taking much of a lead over there. Not really thinking about going with 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Lanning has his sign in the 2-2. And Heck takes this one outside for a ball. Count fills up now at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count here on Andrew Heck. 1 man out in this top of the 8th inning. Heck came into today hitting .276, which is good for 4th on the team. Behind Dave Popkins, Ricky Rodriguez, and Chris Grayson. Lanning has his sign. He's set to 3-2. And this ball popped foul by Heck, so that'll go back behind the stands. And again, Heck will have to do it again with a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up between Andrew Heck and Jacob Lanning. Heck got the first out when Steve Solkowski flew out on 1 pitch. And Austin Wobrock singled. He's at first. And Heck now at the plate. Lanning has his sign. He's set. Throw over to first. And Wobrock getting back in there safely. The 3rd time Lanning's thrown over there, keeping an eye on Wobrock, trying to not let him get into scoring position with 1 man out. Lanning has his sign. He's set in the 3-2. Wobrock takes off for second. This one line towards right center field. And that ball's going to hit off the wall. Wobrock will be waved around third. Here comes the throw. It won't be in time. Heck thinking 3, and he is in there with an RBI triple. Your Wild Things add on. They now lead 2-0 over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Heck gets in there with a much-needed insurance run, an RBI triple after an 8-pitch at-bat. Wobrock scores all the way from first, and the Wild Things extend their lead. It's now 2-0 Wild Things over the Beach Bums, and that'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far is 1 for 2, walked in the first, struck out in the 3rd, and singled and stole a base in inning number 6. 2-0 Wild Things lead, 1 out, top of the 8th. Infield coming in now for Traverse City. Lanning's pitch, and Grayson takes this one up and in for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things center fielder, Andrew Heck. The RBI triple brings in the 2nd run of the ball game for your Wild Things. Champlin has his sign. He's set in the 1-0. And Grayson pops this one up. Foul territory back behind the plate. Kendall Patrick giving chase. He'll camp under it, and he makes the catch That's in time for out number 2. Second out of this top of the 8th inning, and that'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far 1 for 3. Popped out in the first, struck out in the fourth, and singled in inning number 6. 2-0 Wild Things lead here in the top of the 8th. A run coming in on the RBI triple for Andrew Heck. For Heck on the year, has 11 RBIs, or 11 doubles is a Wild Thing. His 5th triple of the year on that one. His 15th RBI as well. Jacob Lanning looking in, going through the signs, has one. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss by Rodriguez. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things third baseman. 2 men out, top of the 8th, 2-0 Wild Things lead. Looking in is Jacob Lanning. Lanning going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set. Now he'll step off as he wants to go through those signs once again. Heck going back to his third base position. Defense playing straight up here for Traverse City. Jacob Lanning looking in to his catcher, Kendall Patrick. Lanning has his sign, the 0-1. And a swing and a miss by Rodriguez. Count now going to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 on the Wild Things third baseman. 2 men out, top of the 8th. A run in on the RBI triple by Andrew Heck. He's at third. Jacob Lanning has his sign. Holds at the belt, checks Heck. Here's the 0-2. And that one up as Patrick having to jump out of the crouch to make that catch. Home plate umpire Phil Pupillo was kind of surprised that Lanning able to come up with that one. Took a look behind him as that pitch came by and then realized that Patrick had the ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Lanning has his sign. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss. Rodriguez strikes out, and that will end the inning. However, the Wild Things get another run in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and a runner left on. After 7.5, the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 8th. And the score, your Washington Wild Things 2 and the Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Last inning for the Beach Bums, they would threaten but would not score. Elijah Trail lined out. Christian Santisteban was hit by a pitch. Kendall Patrick would walk. Then Jeff W. hit into a fielder's choice. There were runners at first and third with 2 men out. Marcus Dirks would walk to load the bases, and then Casey Rodriguez flew out to end the inning. New pitcher on for the Washington Wild Things is his right-hander, Andrew Wick. Wick so far in the year, 2-1, 3 saves, a 4.13 ERA. Appearing in his 28th game, has thrown 32 2/3 innings of work, giving up 20 runs, 15 of those earned on 23 hits, struck out 32 and walked 13 on the season so far. Final line for your starter, Luke Wilkins. Wilkins goes 7 in this one, giving up 5 hits, no runs, no earned on 4 walks and 4 strikeouts on the day. So Luke Wilkins turning in his best outing of the season here tonight in Traverse City. Luke Wilkins was also very efficient on the mound as we add up the numbers here. Wilkins, through his 7 innings of work, only threw 93 pitches on the night, so doing a good job in terms of pitch count as he comes out of the ball game. And Andrew Wick on to replace him. Due up to face Wick here in the 8th, Jose Vargas, Will Kenger, and Steven Patterson. Jose Vargas stepping to the plate now to lead things off here in this bottom half of the 8th. Vargas so far on the day is 1 for 2, tripled in the first, walked in the third, and grounded out in inning number 6. Andrew Wick, the new man on for the Wild Things in his first year with the Wild Things team. Wick has his sign, he's set, and the pitch. And that one's in there for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Jose Vargas, the designated hitter for Traverse City, batting from the right side against the right-hander Andrew Wick. Wick looking in, going through the signs with Steve Solkoski. He has one he likes, he's set, and the 0-1. And this one swung on and missed by Vargas as well, and the count now going to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on the designated hitter for the Traverse City Beach Bums, Jose Vargas, DH'd on Tuesday night as well for Traverse City. Wick looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 0-2 pitch. And a check swing by Vargas, but he did not go around, says home plate umpire Phil Pupillo, and the count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wick 32 strikeouts in 32 and 2/3 innings of work, so averaging about a strikeout per inning on the mound this season. Wick has his sign, he's set, in the 1-2. And a swing and a miss. He gets Jose Vargas, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Beach Bums here in the bottom of the 8th, and that brings to the plate the shortstop, Will Kenger. Kenger so far 0 for 3. Struck out in the first, struck out in the third, and grounded out in inning number 6. 1 man out, bottom of the 8th, 2-0. The Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums here from Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan, Game 3 of this 3-game series. Andrew Wick looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And that one's up at the letters, but called a strike, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Traverse City shortstop, batting in the cleanup spot for Traverse City here tonight. Wick looking in, going through the signs with Solkoski. Has one he likes, he's set, and the 0-1 offering. And that one's low for a ball. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on Will Kenger. Andrew Wick in for the 8th inning of work. Luke Wilkins, 7 shutout innings in the game here tonight, giving up just 5 hits, walking 4, and striking out 4. Wilkins going through his signs with his catcher Solkoski. Shakes off the first one, now has one he likes, holds at the belt, and the 1-1. And that one's low for a ball. Count going down to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on the number 4 hitter for Traverse City, Will Kenger. Kenger has played in all 9 games between these two teams. One more series between the Wild Things and Beach Bums. That'll be Wednesday and Thursday. Doubleheader on Wednesday at Consol Energy Park. And then Game 3 on Thursday. The 2-1. And that one's swung on a miss. Count evens up now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count on Will Kenger, the shortstop. 1 man out, bottom of the 8th. 2-0. The Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Andrew Wick looking into Steve Solkoski, going through the signs, has one he likes, holds at the belt, and the 2-2. And this ball hit towards center field. Chris Grayson coming in on it, and he'll make the catch, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Beach Bums here in this bottom of the 8th, and that brings to the plate the second baseman, Steven Patterson. Patterson so far 0 for 3, grounded out in the second, grounded out in the 4th, and popped out in inning number 6. 2 men out, bottom of the 8th, 2-0 Wild Things lead. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Wild Things start a 10-game homestand tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch right here on the MSA Sports Network. Nate Rigotti and Tony Buscili taking you through that one. I have some family matters to attend, so I will not be there. That pitch is on the inside corner for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. But Nate Rigotti and Tony Buscili going to do a great job and bring you some great action of Wild Things baseball. Game 1 of 3 tomorrow with the Boomers. I'll be back on Saturday night at 7:05 for Game 2. Wick has his sign, the 0-1. That one's outside for a ball. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums second baseman, hitting number 5 in the order for Traverse City. Has been out at second base for all 9 games between these two teams. Wick looks in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 1-1 offering. And this ball fouled back to the screen. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 2 outs. Wick looking for a 1-2-3 inning out of the bullpen for the Washington Wild Things. Now, ever since Zach Groats moved to the starting role, Groats no longer on the team as his contract was purchased by the Dodgers. Wick and Devin Davis has been alternating between the closer spots, so we'll see if we see Davis in the 9th inning. It would be a save situation if the score holds. Andrew Wick steps off as he wants to go through the signs once more with catcher Steve Solkoski. Wick 3 saves on the year, and Devin Davis 5 saves. Davis 5-5. Wick 3-5 on the year in terms of saves to save opportunities. Wick has his sign, the 1-2, and that one's high for a ball. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here on Steven Patterson. 2 men out, bottom of the 8th here from Werfel Park. 2 runs on 6 hits and an error for the Wild Things. No runs on 5 hits for the Beach Bums. Andrew Wick looking in, going through his signs with Solkoski. Shakes off the first one. now has one he likes. He's set, and the 2-2. And Patterson hits this one to right field, hooking down the line, and that one will bounce off the track and on the wall. Popkins has it, is throwing to second, a strong one, but it's off the mark a little bit, so Stephen Patterson gets in there with a 2-out double. Runner at second for the Beach Bums, and 2 men out, and that brings to the plate the third baseman, Elijah Trail. Trail so far 0 for 2, walked in the second, grounded out in the fourth, and lined out in inning number 7. 2 men out here in the bottom of the 8th, 2-0 Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Elijah Trail stepping in for the Beach Bums, the number 6 hitter in the order, out at third base there tonight. Runner at second, Stephen Patterson, 2 men out, as Wick trying to get through a scoreless 8th inning. Andrew Wick looking into Steve Solkoski, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, checks the runner at second, and the pitch on the way. And that one's at the letters for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Elijah Trail. 2 men out, bottom of the 8th. 2-0 Wild Things lead. Andrew Wick looking into his catcher, Steve Solkoski. Righty on righty matchup. Right-handed pitcher facing off against the right-handed batter. Wick has his sign, checks second, and the 0-1. And this ball popped up to shallow center. Chris Grayson coming in on it. He'll call everyone off, and he makes the catch. And that's in time for out number 3. No runs in the inning for the Beach Bums on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 8 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, currently in the top of the 9th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, and the Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Jacob Lanning back out there for his second inning of work for Traverse City. Last inning against him, the Wild Things would get another run in this ball game. Steve Solkoski flew out to start things. Then Austin Wobrock would single before Andrew Heck came through with an RBI triple. Wobrock came all the way around from first to score. That made the score 2-0 Wild Things. Next batter, Chris Grayson. Grayson would pop out, and Ricky Rodriguez would strike out to end the inning. Go up here in the 9th against Jacob Lanning is Dave Popkins, Jimmy Yezzo, and Grant Fink. 4, 5, and 6 against Traverse City right-hander Jacob Lanning. Wild Things trying to add some cushion to their lead. They currently lead 2-0 here at Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Dave Popkins making his way to the plate now to lead things off. Popkins so far tonight 0 for 3. Struck out in the first, flew out in the fourth, and hit into a 3-6-1 double play in inning number 6. Stepping up here in the 9th, trying to add some insurance on for the Wild Things. They lead Game 3 of this series. Wild Things took Game 1 by the score of 5-4 and lost last night by the score of 6-1. Lanning has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Popkins jumping out of the way of that one as that one's a little bit inside. And the count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things cleanup man, batting from the left side against the righty Jacob Lanning. Lanning has his sign, the 1-0 offering. And a swing and a miss there by Popkins. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 on the Wild Things right fielder Dave Popkins in his second year with the team. Last year led the team in home runs and RBIs as well. Hit 20 homers, 46 RBIs. The 1-1, and this one hit down the right field line. It's hooking, and it'll go foul beyond the Wild Things bullpen. Count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out top of the 9th. Popkins so far this year, 13 homers and 43 RBIs. Hit 2 home runs in Game 1 of this series, the first multi-homer game since Brian Harr did it last time we were here. The 1-2, and that one below the knees for a ball in the dirt. Popkins wisely lays off, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, nobody out. Jacob Lanning has his sign, holds at the belt, and the 2-2. And Popkins fouls this one back off to the screen, so the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, nobody out here. In the top of inning number 9, 2-0 Wild Things lead. Trying to add on here at Werfel Park. Looking in as Jacob Lanning has his sign. He's set in the 2-2. And this ball popped up. left side of the infield. Will Kendra coming on. It'll be called off by the third baseman Elijah Trail, and Trail will make the catch. That's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the top of the ninth, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far on the day, 1 for 3, grounded out in the second, hit a solo home run in inning number 4, and grounded out in inning number 7. That home run gave the Wild Things a 1-0 lead. It was Yezzo's 11th homer of the year. Jacob Lanning looking in, has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And Yezzo takes this one high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count on the Wild Things first baseman. Starting his third straight game since suffering an ankle injury last Thursday against the Lake Erie Crushers. Lanning has his sign, a 1-0, and a swing and a miss there by Yezzo, and the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Yezzo, a big hack there, looking for his second home run of the night, trying to duplicate what Dave Popkins did in Game 1 of this series. Jacob Lanning looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-1. Yezzo, a ground ball to the right side, will be handled by Patterson, throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things in this ninth inning, and that brings to the plate the second baseman, Grant Fink. Fink so far 0 for 3, grounded out in the second, grounded out in the fourth, and flew out in inning number 7. 2 men out, top of the ninth, 2-0 Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums here from Werfel Park. Game 3 of this 3-game series. Grant Fink stepping in. Jacob Lanning has his sign. He's set, and the pitch. And Fink takes this one on the inside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 on the Wild Things second baseman, giving Jamadrick Magruder a night off here in this one. Lanning's 0-1, and that one's up high for a ball. Count evens out at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on the Wild Things second baseman. Fink, a product of the Cleveland Indians organization, played in single A for the Lake County Captains last season. Lanning has his sign. He's set in the 1-1. And a half-hearted swing and a miss there by Fink, and the count will now go to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tried to hold up on that swing, but just could not as he chased that one in the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Lanning has his sign in the 1-2 offering. And that one just off the outside part of the plate. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here on Grant Fink. 2 men out. Dave Popkins popped out to lead off this inning, and Jimmy Yezzo grounded out for the second out. Lanning has his sign, the 2-2, and this one grounded softly to third. Elijah Trail handles on a hop, throws across to first, and that's in time for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in the ninth. On to the bottom of the ninth, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the ninth. And the score, your Washington Wild Things 2 and the Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. Andrew Wick back out there for his second inning of work, looking for the 2-inning save here tonight. Devin Davis is warming up in the bullpen just in case he is needed. Last inning for Traverse City against Andrew Wick. Jose Vargas would strike out to lead things off, then Will Kendra would fly out, Stephen Patterson would double, and Elijah Trail would fly out to end the inning. Due up here in the ninth, Christian Santisteban, Kendall Patrick, and Jeff W. 7, 8, and 9 against Andrew Wick for the Wild Things. Wick looking for his 4th save of the season. Him and Devin Davis have been alternating those closing roles ever since Zach Groats moved to a starter. Groats no longer with the team as his contract was purchased by the Los Angeles Dodgers earlier today. So he will report to single A for the Dodgers, and the Great Lakes swoons. Next Wild Things broadcast tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch. Game 1 of a 3-game series between your Wild Things and the Schaumburg Boomers. I have family matters to attend to, so I will not be there, but Nate Rigotti and Tony Buscili will have the call for you. I'm leaving you in great hands as they're going to bring you all the exciting action of Wild Things baseball tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch between your Wild Things and the Schaumburg Boomers. Stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of the ninth, first baseman Christian Santisteban. Santisteban so far today is 1 for 2, singled in the second, grounded out in the fourth, and was hit by a pitch in inning number 7. So Andrew Wick looking for his 4th save of the year for the Washington Wild Things. Wick looking into Solkoski, going through the signs, Shakes off the first one, has one he likes. Set, holds at the belt, and the pitch on the way. And Santisteban takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Traverse City Beach Bums first baseman, batting left-handed against the right-hander Andrew Wick. Wick looking in, holds at the belt, and the 0-1. And this ball fouled off, back off to the left-hand side. The count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count, nobody out, bottom of the ninth, 2-0 Wild Things lead. Game 3 of this 3-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Andrew Wick looking in. Wick has his sign, he's set, and the no ball, 2-strike pitch. And that one's high for a ball. Wick can't get the chase up in the zone. Count going to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, Devin Davis out in the Wild Things bullpen just in case he's needed. He is warming up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wick looks in. Going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike offering. And that one is just off the outside part of the plate. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Andrew Wick giving that one kind of a lean there. Thought he had it, but it evens up the count at 2-2. Christian Santisteban, his first start in this series for Traverse City, as Giancarlo Bergoni got the start at first base the last 2 nights. Wick has his sign, he's set, the 2-2. And that one's a cold strike 3. Santisteban strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the ninth. 1 up, 1 down for the Beach Bums, and that brings to the plate the catcher, Kendall Patrick. Patrick so far 1 for 2, hitting to a 6-4-3 double play in the second, singled in inning number 5, and walked in inning number 7. 1 man out, bottom of the ninth, 2-0 Wild Things lead as they're trying to pick up the win here in Game 3 of this 3-game series and get the series victory from Traverse City. Andrew Wick looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Patrick, a ground ball to short. Wick handles it on the, or Wobrock handles it on the hop. Throw to first, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Beach Bums in the bottom of the ninth against Andrew Wick. And that brings to the plate the right fielder, Jeff W. W so far 0 for 3. Struck out in the third, struck out in the fifth, and hit to a fielder's choice in inning number 7. 2 men out, bottom of the ninth. 2-0, the Wild Things lead over the Traverse City Beach Bums. Jeff W. batting left-handed against the right-handed pitcher, Andrew Wick. Wick looking in, has his sign, he's set. And the pitch on the way. And that one's in the dirt, skips by Solkoski to the backstop, and the count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Wild Things looking for win number 39 on the season. If they get this win, they'll improve to 39 and 40 on the season. Andrew Wick looking in, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Holds at the belt. And the 1 ball, no strike offering. And a check swing there by Jeff W. Did he go around? No, says home plate umpire Phil Pupillo, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Wild Things came into today currently 2.5 back of the Normal Corn Belters for that last playoff spot. Right now, Florence defeating Normal 4-2. Wick has his sign, the 2-0. And this one foul back behind the plate. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 the count here on Jeff W. So if the Wild Things pick up a win and the Normal Corn Belters lose, the Wild Things will be just 1.5 out of that last wild card spot going into their 10-game homestand. Andrew Wick looks into Steve Solkoski, has his sign, he's set, and the 2 ball, 1 strike offering. And this ball popped foul off to the left. That'll get back into the seats, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Traverse City down to their last chance here in this one, last strike in the ball game as Jeff W. tries to extend it. 2-0 Wild Things lead. Andrew Wick looking for his 4th save of the season. Wick looking into Steve Solkoski, has his sign, he's set. And the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. Swinging a ground ball to first. Jimmy Yezzo handles it. He'll take it to the bag himself. And you can put it in the books. Your Washington Wild Things win. Final score, Wild Things 2 and the Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. The Wild Things take the series here in Traverse City. They win 2-0. Tonight's winning pitcher, Luke Wilkins, he improves to 3-6. The loser is Kramer Champlin. Champlin falls to 4-6 on the season. The save goes to Andrew Wick. Wick's 4th save of 2016. We'll be right back with the Washington Wild Things postgame show. You've been listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose Pro Grass, First in Turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Final score in this one, your Wild Things get the series victory here in Traverse City. They win 2-0 over the Beach Bombs. Winning pitcher Luke Wilkins. Wilkins improves to 3-6 on the season. The losing pitcher is Kramer Champlin. Champlin falls to 4-6. The save going to Andrew Wick. Wick's fourth save of the year. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things postgame show here on the MSA Sports Network. Scoring recap in this one for you. The Wild Things would get on the board first. They had the only offense on the day as Jimmy Yezzo in the top of the fourth with 2 outs after Ricky Rodriguez struck out and Dave Popkins flew out. Yezzo hit his 11th home run of the year, a solo shot over the right field wall. That gave the Wild Things a 1-0 lead. Grant Fink would then ground out to end the inning. The other run for the Wild Things coming in the top of the 8th against reliever Jacob Lanning. Steve Solkowski flew out to start things. Then Austin Wobrock would single, and he would come around on the RBI triple by Andrew Heck. Heck's 15th RBI of the year. That gave the Wild Things a 2-0 lead. That was all for the scoring in this one, but really the story in this game was the pitching matchup we had between Luke Wilkins and Kramer Champlin. Each of them very impressive on the night. Luke Wilkins, 7 innings, not giving up a run on 5 hits, walking 4 and striking out 4 through his innings of work. It wasn't easy for him early on as he had to deal with runners at first and third with 2 outs in that first inning. Then had to deal with runners at first and second and 2 outs in the third inning. He had men on base all night, but was able to pitch out of jams when he's needed to and got out of it and kept the 0 on the board. On the other side, Kramer Champlin, his only mistake pitch on the night was that home run ball by Jimmy Yezzo. Other than that, he stayed in the zone, got a 1-2-3 inning in the third, 1-2-3 inning in the fifth, and a 1-2-3 inning in his last inning, the seventh. Had to deal with runners at first and third in the sixth, and had to deal with a runner at second and 1 man out in inning number 1. But other than that, really wasn't in any trouble tonight as both pitchers pitched very well. Kramer Champlin just coming out on the short end of the stick as Luke Wilkins picks up his 3rd win of the year. It's Wilkins' first win since July 1st back against the Florence Freedom, so he picks up his first win in over a month and a half. The Wild Things improve to 39-40 on the season. Totals in this ball game for the victorious Wild Things, they improved to 39-40. They scored 2 runs in the game on 6 hits and committed 1 error in the contest. Their winning pitcher, Luke Wilkins, he goes to 3-6 through 7 innings, did not give up a run on 5 hits, walked 4, and struck out 4. The save in this one going to Andrew Wick, Wick's 4th save. He threw 2 innings, did not give up a run on 1 hit, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. For the Traverse City Beach Bums, with the loss, they fall to 34-45 on the season. They scored no runs in the game on 7 hits and committed no errors. Their losing pitcher, Kramer Champlin. Champlin falls to 4-6. He went 7, gave up 1 run. It was earned on 4 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. Their other pitcher, Jacob Lanning, went 2 innings. He gave up a run as well on 2 hits, did not walk a man, and did not strike anybody out. Going to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard here. Wild Things victorious in Game 3 of this 3-game series, getting the 2-0 victory. The Wild Things game is the only one that's gone final today. It's a full slate of action in O'Fallon, Missouri in the bottom of the 6th. The Evansville Otters are defeating the River City Rascals 2-1. In Avon, Ohio, where the Wild Things will be the last weekend of the regular season, Lake Erie currently leads Windy City 4-2. In the top of the 7th in Schaumburg, Joliet and Schaumburg are tied at 0. At top of the 5th in Southern Illinois, the Miners handling the Gateway Grizzlies 2-0. And at UC Health Stadium in Florence, Kentucky, Florence currently has a 4-2 lead over the Normal Corn Belchers. That's good news for the Wild Things as they enter today 2.5 back of the Normal Corn Belters for that final playoff spot. If the Corn Belters lose, the Wild Things will just be 1.5 out of that final spot. Wild Things return home now for a nice 10-game homestand as they'll welcome in the Schaumburg Boomers tomorrow night at 7:05 first pitch. For tickets, go to www.washingtonwildthings.com or call the box office at 866-456-WILD. And if you can't be there, be sure to be right here on the MSA Sports Network, 7:05 first pitch. Now, unfortunately, I have some family matters that I have to attend to, so I will not be there, but Nate Brigatti and Tony Buscili will be on the call tomorrow night, and you're in very good hands, I assure you, with them, as they'll bring you all the exciting action of Washington Wild Things baseball. But today, your Wild Things get the win and take the series from Traverse City. Final score, Wild Things 2, Traverse City Beach Bums nothing. I'll talk with you guys again on Saturday night at 7:05, Game 2 of that series. But tomorrow night, Nate Brigatti and Tony Buscili will have the action from Consol Energy Park. I'm Zach Ziegler tonight from Werfel Park in Traverse City, Michigan. Wild Things win 2-0. And I say, have a good night, everybody.
MSA Sports. Press 1 to resume or 3 to end broadcast. Your broadcast has been ended.